What about it, Tim?
Is that the right one?
We'll be live at some point.
Welcome to Episode 215. The Flintstones meet the Jetsons. All right. I didn't get the show.
Like 6 people got that reference out there, which is pretty fantastic.
Were you the reason for the feedback?
I think so.
So probably. So welcome to episode 215 of the SonarFeed.
That's crazy, dude. 215 shows.
That's way too many. And it's not even counting the 10 that we didn't use the right numbers for.
So you're at 250.
Like it's like 287.3 or some
Weren't
shit.
there also there were some intentional
Oh yeah, that was just Mark
numbers.
trying to use decimal points because he just learned math
199.2, 199.5.
Roman numerals just weren't working.
at all. So is Dave's mic on? We've heard that Dave's mic may or may not be on.
My
I mean, it's
Is Dave's mic working?
off, on.
Thanks,
off.
Emily.
Dave wasn't talking for a little bit.
Yeah.
Dave's talking now.
All right. Well,
Dave talks about himself.
we're gonna move on for a second and make sure. Apparently, Ugo and Dave's mics are very low. So, what the hell?
We're all good now.
Anyway, we only have like 9 producers here today.
Where?
Yeah. So, anyway, welcome to episode 215. I'm Tom Biro, a.k.a. Bougie Hooli. Across the way from me.
Hugo Garcia, a.k.a. Mi Vida Seattle. And to my left, your right.
That's me, Dave Clark, at Better Than. Sometimes they do diagonals.
And then we have some special guests from around the way. Are you guys the Flintstones or the Jetsons? So anyway, introduce yourselves,
30 years
please.
After the birth of the Seattle Sounders, a crack podcasting unit was sent to prison by a federal court
and
for a
producer
crime they
and
didn't
engineer,
commit. These men and
co-host,
women promptly
producer and engineer for the
eventually
Flounders B Team
escaped from
podcast, at
minimum
Flounders B
security
Team on the
luxury
Twitters.
prison
Boom.
to the Tacoma Underground.
Boom.
What's your personal
Today,
Twitter
still
handle?
I am
wanted by
at
Timbers Army
Podfish
for
on
dropping
Twitter.
a foul
At
in front of
Podfish.
Joplin. They survived.
I have a lot of fun.
Supporters of fortune. If you need a hot take, if no one else can help,
AKA.
and if you can find them,
Greatest
they
goalkeeper.
can fire.
Greatest
The
goalkeeper.
Flounders.
Yeah, I'm the greatest goalkeeper of the
goalkeeper.
ECS FC B team.
No question.
No shots.
Your goals against average is amazing. So-
I'm the Bam Bam Bigelow of ECS FC soccer. For the kids at home, look it up.
How many references from beyond the point anyone that watches the show was
No.
born are we going to make
Ask
tonight?
your parents, kids.
We're apparently not targeting the millennials today.
I, by the way, brought up jumping the shark today, and the
learned
3
about
people that
that
sit
this
around
year.
me, they all looked at me like I had called them all aliens. And then I had to talk them all through it,
Not
and then
gonna
they were
lie.
like, I still don't get it.
First
and
there
then I
was
gave them an
Fonzie.
example of a current television show at which this happened, and then they were like, oh, that totally makes sense now.
What was your reference?
My reference was the ferry crash in Grey's Anatomy when Meredith Grey is dead for hours, and then the next episode she's doing surgery again.
Is Grey's Anatomy a current?
It's
Reference?
still on.
Okay.
No way.
It's in syndication, right?
It's reruns.
It's-
gotta
No,
be
it's
reruns.
still on.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I
Anywho,
just
I'll allow
watch
it.
it for the intros and outros so I can see the Seattle skyline.
See if the King Dome's still there.
I think they film 0.3% of the show in Seattle, which is
Yeah,
pretty
they
cool.
basically bring everybody up here for 1 week.
It's like Frasier. There
I was
was,
just
I
gonna
think,
say, here's a
one
current
episode.
reference. Frasier.
I think it's one episode that was actually filmed in
I
Seattle.
honestly have never watched that show.
Frasier?
No, I watched Frasier.
I was gonna say.
Grey's
Who are you?
Grey's
Good old
Anatomy.
Cheers spin-off.
Good.
Not
Don't-
into evening
Don't
soap
start
operas?
now.
Yeah, nope. The last soap opera was probably Rosa Salvajes. You also
Oh yeah,
know
There you go.
actual
Rosa
good
Salvajes.
novella.
Yeah, that one
That's a good call.
That
So,
was ish.
so anyway, for here on episode 215,
Yeah.
we're mixing it up a little bit. We literally had an A-team guest, and then had to move to the B team.
Hello.
So we figured getting
Coming
the
in.
actual Flounders B team was the best option.
All right. I'm here to do it. Well,
And the best
Love
is
it.
they didn't take it personally at all.
well, we were born here. You knew that, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we were born here.
We heard that on the internet.
The week before the
I
take
everybody
Valley
literally.
Medical
Kev.
Center?
I see you, man.
No.
I see you, buddy.
We were born
There's
at
room here, too, if
SonarFeed.
it's not there, man.
So the show Nate Bowling was on. It was about a week before YachtCon, right? Or a few weeks before YachtCon.
Yeah, that's right.
Snowing like crazy and
Yeah.
whatever, and went and got pizza and whatever. And I met Tim Hamilton here. He's like, "Hey, I always wanted to do a podcast. I always wanted to do a podcast. Hey, we have things in common, you know." So yeah, just a few weeks later in March, we got this bad boy started.
Like, was the show consummated in the bathroom, or like was it out on the patio?
Well, it wasn't like a
That's where my number was. That's where I
biological
found it.
conception kind of deal. It was really just like, wow,
It just happened.
it just happened. That's right.
So
We,
basically,
talked
like
about it,
all good
met some
ideas,
folks, found
they
some cool
happened
people.
around
At a bar.
Nate Bowling.
On a napkin.
Well, it certainly doesn't hurt. I tell my friends to talk into the tube as well. It's pretty great.
I just move it.
Thanks. Appreciate that. All right.
It'll be more difficult when I do it.
So when we just came up with the idea. Tim had some ideas for theming, and I had some ideas for some people that we could bring on to bring some good critical analysis and so on. So yeah, we have a good time.
There's like a good 40 minutes of non-critical analysis
oh yeah,
usually, and I listen on
Yeah.
the bus, and I'm like cackling. And it's like 7:30 in the morning, and people are looking at me like I'm a crazy person.
well, we are trying to tighten it up a little bit from time to time, but yeah, we love the bands. That's what we're all about. Just banner talking about
Yeah.
what's
I
going
did
on,
really
giving each other a little bit of
enjoy
crap.
one of the first episodes I listened to. I had messaged you about
Uh-huh.
where like you just opened the show in the middle of whatever
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys were talking about. It would be like
couldn't find
our
a clean
normal
break point. I
pregame
just couldn't.
when we're all just shooting the shit and we're talking about like tacos or
welcome.
tweets or we literally
Taco time
read
tweets.
tweets to each other for like 40 minutes before the show, and then Adam just like hit live and just
Exactly.
let the show go.
Just make it happen.
And it would be like Dave would
That's
be eating
exactly
his
what
burger.
happens.
The Bill O'Reilly method.
Seriously, it just let it ride. Anyway, 5 mics is hard, y'all.
Yep.
Nice. So anyway, how we typically do the show is we like to do a little bit of the week that was. So there were a number of things that have happened since we last had a show. Bunch of cool stuff over the weekend. A lot of stuff on Saturday. A lot of stuff on Sunday. Then do a little bit of the week ahead or weeks ahead. There's obviously not a Sounders match for the better part of 2 weeks till we
Oh my
see
God.
the Galaxy.
That's right, on the 10th.
Yeah, so
It's gonna be a little while, a little
we've got a
break.
couple of S2 matches between now and then, but
Yep, tomorrow or Wednesday.
That's coming. National team Friday.
Expect
of
to
this
see everybody
week,
there
right?
Wednesday, y'all. Everybody be there.
U.S. national team, that is. Is Mexico playing this week?
I don't know.
No one.
You're right, it
cares.
doesn't because we already qualified pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh, damn. We're going
Yeah.
to talk about that later. Fuck you. Anyway.
As long as we don't talk
so
about
talk
my
a little bit
Chivas
about
this
that.
week.
But,
Oh, good Lord.
Maybe before we get into the future stuff, after we recap what's gone on the last few days, let's talk a little bit about Flanders B Team and just other stuff that you guys have on your minds that maybe we wouldn't have been talking about
He's
otherwise.
planning all this out live right now, and we're going to forget half of it. Yeah. He didn't write it down.
I did not.
How do you know?
Sorry, I didn't write anything down either. Sorry, that's my problem.
Maybe
is I
you're
talk,
going
but I
to
don't
forget
write
about
it.
it all. It's not going to be like Tom on Saturday at about 7 o'clock when I hit my wall. And I was like, shit is over. I'm not planning anything. I
7
am
a.m.
definitely going to take this wireless mic to the other side of the field and go interview
God,
people.
you did twice.
And
Twice.
And then you got lost.
Yes.
And
Oh, my
then-
God.
And you never showed back
Hey,
up.
we talked about fish. Our
was like,
fish are better
I'm
than
like, I
their
am
fish.
out.
Do you remember our fish
Oh,
are
no,
better?
I remember. Kevin asked me a
pescados.
couple questions en Espanol yesterday, and we had a very good time with it. So,
Oh, that was amazing.
anyway, so let's talk about Saturday. So, really long day of soccer, which we've been talking about for a while. We were all really excited about it. Beautiful, glorious Seattle day.
Oh, dude, can't get any better.
Mark and I had talked about getting to La Copita at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. That totally didn't happen. So I was actually at dinner out in Kirkland on Friday night, and then was texting Mark's roommate, and we went over and
I thought
had
Mark
some.
lived with you now.
No, Mark does not live with me. Yet, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Or again.
So we went over there and we cracked open a bottle of wine at like midnight. And Mark's like, oh, we're just leaving Flat Stick. And I was like, oh, cool. Mark will be home in like 15 minutes. And then like an hour and a half later, Mark and his friends got there. And they had gone and like closed down some other bar. So we're drinking like pretty good red wine at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then we were like, holy shit, we have to get up in the morning and go to Tukwila. So Mark texts me at some point and he's like, I'm not picking you up at this time. We had actually planned a completely different time. Mark forgot about altogether. And I was like, oh, we're cool then. It's fine. And so we headed down and we caught.
This would explain why I was the only one getting the messages from Adam all morning about what's going on.
Well, we
where
got
everybody
them.
was.
I was awake earlier. Mark, what time did you wake up? 9:30? Ish.
Sure.
9 something. So we were paying attention. Adam was up at like crack of dawn as per usual. Anyway, so we headed down to Tukwila, which was super packed at Starfire.
It was busy, man.
So we get there for the last bit of matches, which were pretty heated.
Yeah.
To say the least.
The temperature got intense and high and hot at the very end, for sure.
On a number of levels.
Yeah.
So, Hugo, talk to us a little bit about La Copita, how that went all together.
Yeah, so this is our 5th year doing La Copita, which stands for Little Cup. And it really is Barra's signature community event. We, our proceeds, the majority of our proceeds from all our merch sale, all the scarves, all the shirts, goes towards the referees, swag for the kids, trophies. We get backpacks for all the kids on all the teams. This year we had 8 teams of U15s and U14 players. One of them was a co-ed team, Dragons FC, and they actually won a game and a half. They played really well. Last year they also won a few games. They're a really well-trained team, actually. But 8 teams, all of the teams come from lower to medium income communities. And we try to do the tournament for teams that would not have access to a youth level or youth club style tournament, because a lot of these tournaments are really expensive, you know, the whole pay-to-play system and whatnot. So we cover all the costs for the teams. None of the teams, none of the kids have to pay a dime. We just ask them to show up, be there on time, and stay till the end so we can get some photos with them. The team has, the Sounders have actually done a great job over the years to participate, and this year they participated. We teamed up with the Latino Community Fund, which is a nonprofit organization that helped us last year and this year work into getting a grant to help with this event as well. Also, ECSFC partnered up with us, and we partnered with them on doing it the same day of the Supporters Cup, so we could all coordinate into doing something where there's more people at the venue all day long and really focus on spending time with community, friends, families. The tournament was awesome, man. We started bright and early because it was a full day, so the registration was at 7 in the morning. First game started at 8, and we had 2 groups, and each group played each other teams twice, and by the end of the day, the top 2 teams in each group were in the championship game. We actually had a surprise team this year. We had a Rainier Beach team, a community team that really had just got community kids got put together from the local Boys and Girls Club. They had not really played, you know, for more than a year together, if that, a few months. And they were great, man. They showed up and they beat some teams. They didn't have uniforms like the other kids, so they just had orange shirts and orange shorts, and I think one kid wore a polo shirt, an orange polo shirt. So you could tell that, you know, they don't have, you know, financial means to get new kits and whatnot, but that's exactly why we do this kind of tournament.
That's literally the point.
Literally the point.
Right.
So it was really cool to have them participate. You know, they got their swag. Every kid got a shirt, button, backpack, and we just want to make sure people have fun, man. So it was really cool. Max, Aquino, and Quinn, awesome volunteers. Big shout out to all the Barra volunteers that were there all day, man, from like 6
Who
in the
was
morning.
the stadium voice for them?
Yeah, so I volunteered to do a bit of not so much stadium voice, but more of emceeing. I was an MC trying to, get all the teams situated and ready, hype up some of the goals. So it was
Kinda
fun,
like
man.
Casey Catherwood.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Buried a peanut.
Yeah. So, man, it was a blast, dude. It's a lot of work, and you stress out a lot leading up to it, man. A couple weeks and a week before, I'm like, man, do we have enough? Do we have everything covered? Can we get access to the microphone? Make sure we have enough batteries for the microphone because we had a wireless microphone. I texted somebody. I'm like, hey, can you bring me a battery? But, man, it was a blast. It was a blast. The kids all had a ton of fun. Today I got sent the link to see some of the photos. The photos look awesome, so you'll start seeing some of the photos in the next couple of days coming out of the Barra Twitter account. It was a blast, man, and really, really happy that all these friends that are here, most of you have at one point or another bought Barra sweat, scarf or T-shirt or patch. I mean, so it's thanks to you guys that we're able to do that tournament. So even if some of you couldn't be there on Saturday, in essence, you were there because of all the gear you guys have been, purchasing and representing with.
So where could a guy like me who sits next to the Barra in the stadium get some Barra swag?
So you can follow our Twitter account, and from there, we'll hit you up with our link to our store. We are towards the end of our merchandise run. So at the ECS block party, we had a ton of swag. So we'll try to announce places in pre-game events where we'll have some swag that we'll be selling. We do have a store that we just rebranded a little bit. We touched it up a bit, and on the store we'll send links out that you can get some of this gear and whatnot. We have been really on purpose shy with our gear. There's a chance to really sell a lot of it, but we want to make sure that our folks rocking the gear connect with it, connect with our events, connect in next to 121 or in 121. So we haven't really sold a ton of gear. You know what I mean? It's kind of been something that we purposely did to kind of.
You could probably sell like 5 times the gear. that you do.
We probably could.
And like to some extent, scarcity is good. Not because you can then raise the price in this particular case, but you want to. I think you just said like connect with it.
Yes, yes.
And I think
exclusivity.
Yeah, well, I think there's something to like you're a Bada member. That's your jam. Like let those people rep it and grow it from there. Yeah. And I think as people, when you're talking about declaring subgroups or whatever you want to say, like as that grows, you can grow merch, and other things. Yeah. But I think there's a little bit of a message to be said, from gear. And I will say pretty consistently, and I'm working on the overall ECS 2018 kit right now, like there's a lot of cool shit out there, and it's hard to do that year over year, where you're talking about shirts or scarves or hats or whatever it is, aside from the fact that you've got things like the shirt you're wearing right now that people can see. So there's just some imagery and some awesome things.
This is the Cielito Lindo edition of Barra shirt. Cielito Lindo.
That you all... We're going to be singing that by the end of the night, probably.
So Cielito Lindo is a beautiful blue sky. And it's blue sky, blue shirt. And it's sang after most victories in Mexico of the national team. And it's a really popular song with the Mexican soccer fans. It just connects. And Latino communities overall. It's one of the hits. Oh, speaking of which...
We all sang that in CDMX.
In
it's weird
City.
to not say the FA.
El FA. No, but one of the teams that was at La Copita has been at every Copita since we started it 5 years ago. And we started as a U8 team. And these kids are growing up with us as we're growing up with the tournament. So it's been pretty cool to see some of these kids.
Yeah.
Now as, 14, 12, 13-year-olds. It's pretty cool. And I think next year we're getting to the point where we're going to go full pitch. Because we've done half pitch, sideways.
You could do it.
That's the plan.
More time.
And two fields.
Just a little. Well, multiple fields.
Games at the same time.
Well, the challenge here was we weren't able to get that other field that's just outside, kind of that practice field, that you walk up past when you're coming into the stadium.
The mini field?
Yeah. I think just having that would have changed the equation a little bit.
Yeah, we're looking at that because I think we're getting to the point where we want to kind of grow it a little bit more to a bigger field.
Yeah.
Like something like the championship game, some of the kids were a little bit bigger and it got heated.
Yeah. That's
the first time I've seen a red card at a kids tournament. Now, I don't go to a lot of youth kids tournament, but there was an
I've seen some parents toss before. Some people got tossed from that last match.
Yeah.
So I don't want to harp on that because it takes away from the bigger story.
Yeah.
But I thought it was amazing. There were a lot of people out there to support. People had 6:30 call times, to be in the stadium. But no stress with having kids out there at 8 o'clock. Seemed like it went over pretty well.
One of the teams got there a little bit late, but nothing too crazy. We're kind of used to it, but haven't done that and kind of prepared for a little bit of a late start in case the kids didn't show up or the parents or something happened. But no, everything went out perfect, man. It really is a compliment to the volunteers, man. Like Kevin, thanks, man. You were there all day, really early. Thank you, man. Mel, I can't name everybody, but there's a lot of folks that volunteered a lot of time and behind the scenes too, connecting with the Ray Foundation to get the Octagon there outside, to get the MLS Cup there. We had the MLS Cup there. So just excited to connect with everybody in the community and folks that are friends that we have been on trips with internationally, other states, and I saw the next day at the,
winning team got to hang out with Gonzo.
Pretty much.
That guy's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to hang out with Gonzalo Pineda.
Dude, the dude. So he actually didn't swing by. To be honest, he didn't make it.
I absolutely know he did because I followed him from the practice facility there, and Katie Pendleton rounded up the team.
Yeah, I think the timing didn't work out as expected.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I was
so
kind of sweating it.
Unexpected, but
they did.
He did make it.
Okay, that's good.
And then he got mobbed by not just the winners, but like the rest that had
that makes sense.
Quite yet.
That makes sense because
Can't move it up further.
As soon as we did the congratulations, I had to run and set up for the first game of ECS, so I didn't stay for the whole celebration. So that makes sense. I'm glad that happened, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude. I didn't even know. I didn't know because I had to start.
It was a busy day.
I had to start working for the for Tim's game.
So plans to do Copita again?
No question. No question. Bigger.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was Saturday, y'all.
All this was on the AV8 fields.
Yeah. No, the same field.
They played on the
They
stadium.
played.
Yeah, in the stadium,
played
just
half
split it
field.
in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, just split it in half.
Kind of like the pub league setup, like split the field and go short way.
Yeah.
Two next to each other. So that got us to noon, and we've already had a lot of soccer. So digging in from there, we had the 040 match.
Yeah.
Versus the TAFC. And then we had the men's 2 match that we could talk
Mismatch,
to.
you mean?
We could talk to one of the players that
Yes, we
took
do.
part in that particular event, Timothy.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments?
No, I mean, the ECSFC is really competitive. They've got a whole ton of teams, so we always have, and also hosting, we had plenty of bodies, plenty of talent to pull from. So they essentially took some of the GSSL teams in the 2nd and 3rd division and combined, and we faced the Timbers Army B team, and it wasn't much of a contest. Their goalkeeper was phenomenal. Is the only reason that it stayed in single digits.
That should have been a 10-0 game.
And when you say single, you mean not 7.
Yeah, no, you look up at the scoreboard and there's just not enough numbers to keep score. So
it was a lot of fun, man. The 40 over team too.
And so the 040 game.
Yeah, we started the over 40 team competitive game. I've never done so many substitutions calls in my life for a game, man. I think I must have done at least 25 substitution calls.
It's like a friendly. It's like
yeah. It was like
nonstop.
nonstop. It got to the point where we're like, yo, let's just call the subs going in because we can't call everybody that comes out. But there was some good football there, man. Some players out here, you could tell they've been playing for a long time, man. Yeah, it was fun. The score, they got lucky, you know.
The second half, they turned it on. The over 40s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on field 4 just kind of warming up with our team, and I could hear the calls, and the wrong section of the stadium was cheering, so I knew it wasn't good. So, but then you got to call our game, and you lost your voice calling all the goals.
Yeah, that one was the complete opposite.
Esco. Too many subs, too many goals.
That one I didn't have to. The first one was too many subs and not enough goals. But the second one, the ECS2 team, that one was a lot more action, man. It was nonstop. It was cool to see Esco. So Esco Strong, but I remember friend of the show. He had just had a kid this last week.
Who's the kid?
The kid showed up.
Was
yeah.
there.
Oh. Tiago.
They were all in the stands.
Yeah,
repping.
yeah.
So I was like, wow, you're actually
right, Tim. That's
super
right.
new.
Yeah.
You got baby time?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. He scored.
So he did the baby celebration because he scored a goal. It was awesome. I mean, I think everybody was really rooting. Like, the whole stadium was, whenever he got the ball in the attacking section, he was like, come on, come on. But it was a lot of fun, man. And you could tell that our I don't know, man, our talent was just superior. I mean, the way Arthur Kim put it, it's like, we kill those fuckers.
Well, I mean, Arthur said in the beginning.
Sounds about what he would say.
Yeah.
He said for the first hour of the match, everyone go out there, have fun, but the next 30 minutes are mine. You know, we're playing to win, so. But the thing was pretty much over.
But
in the first half.
commend Tim had great command from the back. He didn't have a lot of action, right? Because the other team didn't really get into his side.
I commanded Mark to get me a Slurpee.
I fulfilled.
No, but he was talking to his players, like, push up,
Do you remember?
come back.
Do you even remember doing
Do you remember
that?
buying me a Slurpee?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
And then they have a powerful halftime speech as well.
Oh yeah. We had Coach Schmetzer involved, and
Holy cow, dude!
he came up and
So what did he
just kinda
say?
gave us I don't remember. You know, he just don't be bigger than the moment, but go kick some ass. And
So, speaking of Coach Schmetzer,
Yeah,
he's
seriously, think
walking
about that.
down the end line,
Think about that, dude.
and
shaking her
we're like,
boots.
oh, there's Schmetzer. Someone go get him. So Beth runs over, and he pretty much was coming over
That's so dope.
on his own. And I don't know that for sure, but that was the gut instinct based on how that went.
He wasn't
We literally
scouting.
just like handed him the mic. He's like, "Do I look at a camera?" And we're like, "No, we're watching the game. We're just going to talk a little bit." And he just dove in, and it was like, "This is awesome. Beat Portland. Blah blah blah." Dug in a little bit about Sunday. Did his like 3 to 5 minutes. I don't even know what it was, and basically dropped the mic and walked away.
Think about how dope that is, or how amazing that is to have our club's coach come out to the Supporters Cup game at halftime. And I know they've done previously where he's a coach and whatnot, but he's still doing it, man. After, not before he was maybe assistant coach. And he it doesn't matter. He's the same now that he's won an MLS Cup. He's the head coach as he was when he was an assistant.
He's the same guy.
He's the same guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a member. I'm an ECS guy. I want to be here because of the event that the supporter group is doing, and you get that from him, man. And I'm, that's huge, dude.
Dave
He's a
looks
man.
like he has a comment.
It's funny because on those prior to the national TV game, he has so much stuff he has to do because he has to talk to local radio, has to talk to the national people extensively because the local guy can talk to for a couple of minutes and just get some updates. They paid attention the whole week, where the national people are trying to confirm.
The national people are trying to confirm stories. That kind of stuff. Maybe this one's working better. Bad cable, bad.
Boo, cable.
Beat that cable. Is that the same red cable that we tried to? No, though it's different. That's much
Jump roping
longer.
with earlier?
So yeah, that he took it out before a national TV game. Like, he's overwhelmed with stuff. I mean, I had talked to him at the end of practice, and Matt Johnson walked with him, and then he did sit downs with Fox, and then obviously he found time for that, so it's pretty awesome.
It was crazy. The fact that he was there, I don't want to say I'm not surprised, but I'm totally not surprised. Like that he at least showed up, came over to say something. I busted his ass about having coached one of the teams in the year prior as a guest coach. And I was like, oh, do you remember that time that you were the guest coach for the team? I was like, you told the keeper to kind of step up off his line at the second half kick. And he's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't end so well, did it? And he's like,
did you get chipped?
The best, yeah. And the best was he didn't even get into it. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And just kind of roll with it as one does.
It's like, oh, I know that feeling.
I've been there. You only get chipped once or twice, and then you learn that. It's like running with scissors.
Well, and the fun part about that was you do it once, right?
Then you're a pirate.
But the best part was it's like Brian Schmetzer made that call, and he's like, oh, yeah, I probably shouldn't have made that call, but I did it, and whatever, moving on. And he's that guy. Like, it's...
Yeah. No, it was
I don't even know how to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's the man.
I have no idea. Aside from just game planning and coaching, like you were saying, just the commitments, time commitments, and then you pretty much just have to lock yourself in a room and have your own time. Otherwise, you've got us that just want a piece of you. Want to have words, want to show our appreciation. He's managed to keep a smile on his face. He's been very graceful. Yeah, that's the right word. Gracious.
And to get into that, I was going to talk about it in a few minutes. Yeah. Earlier in the week, I had messaged him. He's messaged the show before, and we've all talked kind of on the DL just about stuff. And I had messaged him, and I said, hey, what do you think about writing the match preview for the ECS newsletter? And he's like, he didn't respond. And I was like, he'll get back to me if he has time and whatever. And then finally he gets back to me like the day before, and he's like, hey, is this cool if I send this to you in like an hour? And I'm like, whenever you get to it, that's cool. We're going to assemble later tonight or tomorrow. All right, whatever. Which email do I send it to? This one. He's like, all right, cool. An hour later, he's like, did you get it? I'm like, wow, this guy. Like,
damn,
all in. And that's just super weird, honestly. Like, we talked about this again a million times on this show. It's just not normal.
You gotta
like,
appreciate
as far
these
as
moments,
soccer
man.
goes. Or
Yeah, we have a lot more access than we
And
probably will ever again.
I don't even want to say it's just access. I think the attitude is just different.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, I do think it's the same, even for the, like, heavy hitter international players that come here. Like, Gonzalo Pineda does not have to give people the time of day. Like, dude's done some things. But if you bump into him randomly, in the parking garage at the stadium, he'll shoot the breeze with you for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And, like, he doesn't need to do that. And I think there's, like, a comfort level that is just different. And it's not to say that Portland or Vancouver or L.A. or what, L.A. probably doesn't ever have that, but Houston or whatever doesn't have that.
But
it feels like it's super consistent.
To avoid the spotlight a bit, but it's not like it is with other sports, even in this city. Like the Mariners players,
gated community.
Yeah. My friend Tim, right across the table here, he said a number of times that we're in a really magic moment for this sport, for this league.
That might have been Nate.
Okay.
But I'll take credit for it 100%. That was me.
Basically, anything Nate says, if you can get away with taking credit for it, you should do it, and then he'll beat the shit out of you later.
That's right. That's right. But it's a magic time for the game because you have that combination of notoriety and access that is going to go away at some point when
and
this
it will
league grows and
at least partially.
Yeah.
Maybe as the salaries start to all get to 7 digits,
yeah, absolutely.
Then they're going to have handlers.
Well, I mean, we're not hanging out with Clint Dempsey, but I have definitely sat next to Obafemi Martins in a bar, and like as much as I love Clint Dempsey, I know people in other countries who are like, I could roll in Xbox kit, and they know Obafemi Martins has played on that team. Yeah. And like, that's
but at
a pretty
the same
cool
point,
thing.
That's a little bit unusual for Oba. I mean, he had a penthouse suite in downtown Bellevue. He wasn't in the same neighborhood as us very often.
No,
see him he was living down the sidewalk in his hoverboard.
Yeah, hanging out in Lincoln Square.
That hoverboard thing I have in my head as well. So it's really funny you bring that up.
For the most part, and I've talked about it before, it's kind of like the Brooklyn Dodgers era, where they're like going to the same deli.
You're at the grocery. Yeah.
And we're lucky, and we got maybe 2 more years of it because now we got like 12 TAM players and 3 DP.
Damn, 2 more years.
So what you're saying is, aside from the fact that there is no Walmart, that we're not going to bump into Ozzy Alonso at Walmart.
Well, there's one literally right over there that he probably shops at.
He might.
Because every player on this team
shops at Walmart.
Knows Renton and Tukwila like the back of their hand.
Well, yeah, that's where you hang out.
When they're flown in for their first thing, I'm not going to tell you what hotels that they stay at, but
I could guess.
They're in either Renton and Tukwila, and there aren't great hotels in Renton and Tukwila until next year when the 12 opens at Southport. No, the Southport one. Oh, here? The old Boeing property at the end of Lake Washington.
Yeah.
That's going to be primo property right on the lake. But normally we got Holiday Inns and that kind of stuff.
Express.
So anyway, Spencer's fucking.
Wow,
awesome.
we got off topic a little.
I don't even know what to say about that, but let's dig in a little bit on the rest of the night. So
put our heads down and pray.
The big one, the women's match.
So the women's match was amazing.
That was exciting, dude. That was exciting.
I didn't see a final on that one. Can we just roll? What's the final on the Whipsaws versus
I don't know
ECS
if
women?
anyone
1-0.
except Kevin even knows.
1-0.
Yeah,
it was 1-0.
It was fantastic.
1-0 who?
Whipsaw. Sorry, Whipsaw.
Okay, because
yeah, the Whipsaw.
So
have
they
won
came
the
to
last
play.
4 years, I think. Two, they've won the last 4, and they did come to play. They come to play every year. But our ladies, our women showed up, man. I have 3 players.
It was a really fun game to watch.
It was, man. I had number 64. God, I can't remember her name right now. Do you remember, Kevin, her name? I know you like number 20. That was your favorite. She was definitely a 18-18 player. They had chances. They pushed up. It was great to see Danielle out there. Danielle Wheeler.
Jones Wheeler.
Yep. It was fun, man. Like I'll be honest. I have not been to a rain game. I'll just be honest. But watching the ECSFC women's team got me hyped that if I get a chance to see a rain game, when unfortunately this whole year they play when the S2 play, so I haven't been able to go. But I'm gonna try to go, man, because it was fun, dude. It was I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite game.
I'm gonna tell Fishlock you haven't been.
I know I was. Trust me, dude. I feel bad. Even though your game was great, man.
Don't apologize.
Dude, the women's
I didn't
team.
do shit.
I don't know, man. It was like they were battling. They were like, "Yo, we're trying to get back. We're trying to get this goal." They were busting their butts so hard, dude. I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
So we went from the drama and like really strong play from that match of the ECSFC versus the Whipsaws to like, oh, okay, another game's coming up. And then another game didn't come up.
Crickets.
Actual crickets. Literally. So we could debate this all you want. They submitted a roster for the TAFC, and I don't want to say to their credit, TAFC is a different thing than ECSFC. There are, I forget what the number is, and it might be 16 right now. There's like 15 to 18 teams in any given season between indoor, full field, like I play on a team on Wednesday nights, plus pub league and so on. It's a different thing. They have a number of teams that are essentially like affiliated with they are essentially affiliated with Timbers Army. Yeah. So it's not like licensing, for lack of a better way to put it.
Okay.
So it's just a different thing. So Whipsaws are their own team that play under the banner of Timbers Army. So everybody's been operating for quite some time, expecting that this is all working, like we're all on the same page. The 040 game a couple of weeks ago was off, then it was on, then it was off, and there was just so much back and forth. Some of those guys played basically 3 games because they played the scrimmage that ultimately happened. Yeah. So about 5 minutes before kick's supposed to happen at whatever time that was, 7-something at night, ECSFC is informed that there aren't enough players to play in this men's 1 game, the trophy game. So it wasn't about men versus women or anything like that. It's the game that the groups all agree to play for a trophy. They literally submitted a roster, full names and everything in advance, and the players that were there to play had no idea, from what we were told, that their teammates were not coming.
That's messed up. Yeah, dude.
Which is pretty fucked up.
That's rough.
I almost don't care if that's partial truth at this point, I've been told it is what they said to other people, and people were here for the post-match at the Berliner for a bit of party that night, and that's what was relayed to a lot of us was they came in good faith to play, expecting that all these people were going to show up. So it's the first time this has happened.
Yeah,
it's hard because in Portland they only have telegrams in order to communicate with each other.
It's and like if the rivers
maybe
rise
over the
too
next
much
few
or something,
days, they'll be
you
able
can't
to
get over the
find out
Hawthorne.
when they were supposed to be here.
Send a Raven something.
So
and
the
their
Ravens would be
defense-
quicker though.
And their
that's a new thing.
defense-
But
Listen, I will say,
do shit all the bastards below.
Shit on.
Mer, mer.
in their defense, they have lost the majority of those cup trophy games to ECSFC.
That's a different discussion.
That's not a defense for not calling your friend and saying, "Dude, I'm not going to Seattle."
I have to
on
say,
Saturday.
if none of them showed up, it would have been better.
Like it's literally that.
Like if I traveled
the
up
lack
early
of
to play this
respect.
match and my teammates didn't show up, I'd be pretty fucking
No,
pissed.
That's the worst part about it.
So how many people are they supposed to send total?
I would guess
least
they'd
11.
have
15.
At
I would
least
guess they'd
11.
have 15. I think it's 15.
15.
So typically,
9.
that's what you're gonna have. So
People forgot to call their friends.
for
right?
these for the teams, people literally train and try out to play on these teams. So
Yeah.
the 040s is primarily one E ECSFC team that plays together all the time, but not in total. Like there's usually a couple of players that will get on that team. Men's 2, how did that work?
I remember playing with probably about 5 or 6 guys that I play with on Columbia. Sorry.
You're fine.
And there's, like we've talked about, there's plenty of groups. There's D3 and D2, and I think we just took some of those players. The first division team, they were
Like
on
they're
their own.
trying out
Yeah,
for
no,
months and practicing together to
I
come
would
play to
imagine
that
they're
match.
paying money.
It's
to
pretty
be
serious.
Part of the group.
Well, yeah, we
Even aside from that,
Yeah.
like
League
the
fees.
fields are paid for,
Right. Somebody's
The
gotta pay for
refs
that.
are paid for, like, and so on. Like things all
No,
have to
yeah,
get covered
like,
for this.
Aside from the players, that you guys put in a lot of time, effort of your personal time to practice and do and whatnot. Like the folks that organize it, like Anthony and Martin and Julia and a lot of other folks that
We're displeased.
negotiated, discussed with Starfire, with the beer vendors, with the refs, with everybody to organize it. A lot of folks
Celebrity vendors.
putting a lot of personal time outside of work to put this on, dude.
It's fucked up.
It is messed up.
The worst part is just the 5 guys that did show up. Everyone's looking at them and like, that's not.
And they're like, we
I'm the
did
one
what
that
we were supposed
showed.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't hate me, but you are the face of,
Yeah, of course.
the brand.
Yeah,
and that's
dude,
what
of
we're
course.
hating right now. Yeah. North I-5.
Yeah.
Stop
And
before you get to Canada.
It's, again, we could debate this to high heaven and, quote, we'll figure out what's happened later. And there were some messages that went back and forth the next day. ECSFC crafted a message that they put out on this. They're like, you know what, guys, this is shitty. Clearly you don't plan on competing. Figure it out.
There you go.
And it kind of is what it is. So the bummer for me of it was like knowing all the work that went in on the background and like having helped with some of the stuff and the marketing and the promotion for it, and seeing Anthony or
Seriously, man.
Martin or Julia or 15 Cam, like all these folks that put in like probably hundreds of hours, if I had to guess, between negotiating stuff and getting MLS Cup there and figuring out how to weave in the unified match that we didn't talk about that was in the middle of all of this. So
Oh
it's
my
like
God, there was
you
so
organized
much,
4
dude.
matches for
There's
FCs,
so much football this weekend.
plus the unified Special Olympics, plus La Copita, and got it all to work in like, as I think you had mentioned, Dave, it was like all the hours that the sun was up.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be
from
soccer.
sun up to through sundown.
Seriously.
Right?
Like
There was
that's
supposed to
it's
be
a lot of
soccer.
work, and it just to me it just sucks.
A pro
Like, as
quality
any of us
facility.
can relate to, like the times you put in effort on your own time.
Real referees.
Yeah,
A
and like,
live stream of the game.
yeah,
Live
but, like,
stream,
all of that
stadium
work.
announcers,
It was just unfortunate.
$5 parking.
actual beer in the stadium.
Yeah, true.
Also, beer that wasn't supposed to be in the stadium,
Just bring
I got
in your
yelled at,
bloodstream.
but that's another discussion. So anyway, so that was Saturday night. So all in all, awesome day.
Yes.
When it came down
Amazing.
to it,
Yeah.
it concluded with a bunch of people playing a scrimmage effectively just for some fun at the end of the night. because don't go home angry.
And I think it's aside from Timbers FC blowing it, I've gone to it now 2 years. I think I went to a couple, 4, was it 3? When was the last time? Anyhow, it
2
is
years
really
ago.
cool,
Every other
man.
year.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like you're getting supporter group versus supporter group. Maybe this happened in the 70s and in the 80s. I don't know, maybe, but it seems like it's something that's very, very unique. I don't know if this really happens I'm not sure it really happens in Mexico with Liga, MX, hinchas and barras. So having something like this
I'm
is
sure
really
they
cool.
play at some point,
Right.
but maybe not. Nothing this organized.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah, me too. I would. So hopefully we can fix this up so it doesn't die. You know what I mean?
So before we get to Sunday, on the Twitters, Michelle has posted. She's in Mexico right now with Susana, so friends of the show, of them singing this, of their new song. So it's a little bit of a take on the. It's so bad. So it's Vamos Tomar el Agua. Vamos tomar el agua. Aquí, allá, aquí, allá.
Oh my God! They must be.
¿Dónde está mi taza?
How many drinks have y'all had, please? Over under.
¿Dónde está el baño?
Can we stream Sus and Michelle into the show right now? Because that's outstanding. I don't know what's going on with what.
That is just an awkward image.
Which one?
The one above that.
Oh, that is actually really awkward.
It is. It's an optical illusion.
It is. It is not what you think it is.
It's not like, wow.
We just
Someone's really
distracted
enjoying
Tim.
the show.
Oh, and she just. They're in the same room with each other,
I'm missing this.
tweeting
Can I get
at
the
one
link?
another right
All
now.
right. All right. This is a great segue into.
So it's
Sunday.
basically us.
Yeah.
Tom reads Twitter next on SonarFeed.
My bad.
You know what? Fuck you guys.
Choo choo. Remember when I said that we had this nice plan for the show, but he didn't write it all?
Should have wrote it down.
Yeah. 7 hours later.
I'm sorry. I just took a
We should try that
30-second
sometime.
derail.
So, Steve,
How's
how's traffic?
Traffic was okay. Actually pretty clear up from Tacoma.
What's the time? What's the
Yeah,
temp?
it was about 37 minutes, door to door to the parking garage.
In a row?
I talked, like all the minutes.
All
straight
37?
back
Give
and
us the
forth.
time
Yeah.
in a row?
temperature yet.
Yeah, nonstop.
Any added minutes?
Well,
No.
the parking garage, and then I had to sign up for a Blink account to charge my electric car.
Just here?
Ah.
Yeah,
This
but
is
now-
fascinating. This
You
is
do have
good
an
radio.
electric car?
Who's now in Renton?
I do. I have a little Nissan Leaf.
Nice.
It's super fun.
Over at
Exactly. Give the people what they want.
When is that
Thank
going to
you,
start? They want like a pound of. The people want a pound of 20s.
No,
Pound
man.
of flice.
Heidi Fleiss?
Oh.
Gonna make references that like half the show will understand.
Yeah.
And by half,
Ask
I
your
mean
parents.
Donald Trump
two
connection
people.
to Heidi Fleiss?
There is.
Okay, all right.
But that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah,
We're gonna do 6
seems
degrees
like a
right here.
different.
Is that what
okay,
we're doing?
all right.
So then all of us somehow got home from Starfire. I knew that I got home,
still
but I
sad.
could
How was
not
the traffic?
identify who brought me home until the next morning.
It was Mark.
It was not Mark, because Mark left and had a bougie as
Oysters.
fuck
Yeah.
dinner
Highly recommend
in
to do that
Madison
from time to
Park.
time. Ooh.
Thanks for the invite.
Exactly.
No, at the park. Drinking a brown paper bag at the park.
Speaking of flying, though, shout out to my boy Oscar here, in person at the show. Long time support. Long time, first time. And I used to live here for a number of years. Been a bottom member for a number of years. Goes hard in the section. Moved to New York. Has been out in New York repping for like how long? A year or so. 9 months. Came back and actually sat on the bench against on the Sounders bench against Minnesota. Yeah.
Nice.
You were a bench
At
warmer.
Minnesota or here? Because at Minnesota, we only had 16
no,
players.
here.
Oh.
He was a bench warmer here.
He should have suited up
Yeah.
at Minnesota.
Elevator adventures with Eileen, Grandma, and Chris and I in New York.
All kinds of adventures, man. So, no, I just want to give them for sure a shout out, man.
Elevator
'cause,
adventures next time.
Skinemax. Hit me up yesterday at the
Skinemax,
game
that's right.
and said, man, I might swing by before I head out because he's going. Are you going
It's a
straight to
special
the airport?
subscription.
Man, dude.
Going hard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure, dude.
Giggity.
But let's talk about that game, man. What did we think about?
So
tomorrow?
Sunday there was a game.
Yeah.
I
big
think
one.
everyone here went to the game ish. Mark did somehow make it to the game. He confessed everything that has happened to him in his life to me in a 10-minute period at Fuel. But let's dig into the game. So 6:30 p.m.
Yes.
It's getting busy.
For sure, man. I'm gonna hand it off here to our B squad since
Hello.
They went to the game?
Yeah.
All right, Steve. What was your
pregame?
What was our pregame activities?
Our pregame activity involved showing up at Doyle's Pub in Tacoma, Washington. At Doyle's Pub, great soccer bar in Tacoma.
Wait, that's on Twitter at Doyle's Pub.
At Doyle's Pub on the Twitters. And basically, they do a bus up every week when there's a home match, and so they served a little bit of booze on the bus and just about an hour drive, and then Tim managed to get everybody going on a sweet karaoke of Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer."
Nice.
No, it wasn't "Living on a Prayer."
Was that
it was,
when you were halfway there?
Was it?
Yeah, we were halfway there.
Oh yeah. Johnny used to work on the dock.
Yeah. It had to do something about his 6-string and hawk.
Just move on.
Holy cow. Okay, so
You guys
different
just
song?
get to the game right when it kicks off.
yeah,
No.
you get there about 5:15.
It was like $20 a seat.
Did you forget about the rest of the ride?
No. We got and once again, I-5.
Just hanging out with
I-5 was fucking paving 3 out of their 4 lanes.
That's cool. More drinking time, though,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well,
More
yeah.
drinking time.
I had jello shots on the.
We had some
Nice.
Humidor Plata. We had some,
Ooh,
good
good
little
stuff. I
little
like
glass bottles. We had some.
I don't condone drinking
A little bit of
Humidor.
whiskey, a little bit of cider, a little bit of. We mixed up the
So
grape
you guys
and the grain.
got to
Hit it pretty hard. We were pretty well lit.
We were
Yeah.
feeling no pain. Yeah,
Nice
they-
and toasty.
they stop-
Lubricated.
They stop at Pioneer Square to
Yep.
drop anybody off that wants to do the match, and then I think they cruise
Dropped
on to
us
the
off
stadium
right
for
at
anybody
Fuel.
else.
Ran into Dave, the big Dave. I can never
Dave.
pronounce his last name.
Cresco.
Yep, and a couple other people. T. Gray was there. A few other people just said, "Hey, what's up, hey?" And then you peeled off with your boy to do the march.
Yeah, I've
So
never
you can
done
talk
the march
about
before.
that a little bit.
Sorry, guys. 9 years in.
This is your first
Season
match?
ticket
March?
first. Yeah, pop my cherry.
Dude, this
Did
was
you
a
pop
solid
smoke?
March, by the way.
I did not pop smoke, but I was blowing freaking blue and green snot rockets the rest of the day.
Know what?
Dude, that march was badass.
Deal with it.
Shout out to the crew who set that up because that
Yeah.
was a badass
That was
march.
steep.
I didn't see the first half of the march
Why was that?
because I was inside the smoke.
Bummer. I don't
It
know
was
anything
intense.
about what you're talking about.
It was intense, not gonna lie.
Actually,
A
probably.
friend of mine did his first Portland game, and
really?
he'll carry it with him for as long as he owns his KD. He had the Durant
The
shoes,
white Durants.
but they look great with it because it's the shoes had like little blue highlights, and now they have some green highlights where
Did
the
they drop
smoke
smoke
bomb.
on there?
That's great.
Because
Yeah,
some of the
when
ones that
you're
were on the
nearby.
ground level, his foot was like right next to it as he
That's why we
stepped
can't
on
have
it.
nice
It was like
things.
seconds. He goes, "The colors look kind of good. If each shoe matched, it'd be perfect."
That's
So-
awesome.
All right, so you marched.
And it was a badass march.
So we marched and we used the the north entrance because we're not in the ECS. My buddy Sean and I, we ended up getting to our seats. You know, no clear bags to go through. Got through security breezy. And then we sat down, and
Where's your
right as we
section at?
sat down, the Portland. What's that?
What section are you guys in?
107.
Oh, okay.
So you can see us. I'm right, pretty close to the front, but we were right where the starters were warming up.
Oh, okay.
And you could see Valeri and Vitas. Vitas is fun to fuck with because last time
Because the 2 times that he touched the ball, he kicked it like 40 yards.
Oh
into
no!
the stands.
Warming up and pregame, I just flipping shit like over the summer or maybe it's springtime. Coca-Cola always have those bottles and with the names on them. I was like, "Hey Vitas, I got one free." They don't fucking spell Vitas, so you're Dave. You're Dave. You want a Coke? All right, I got one for you.
How much time did Valeri just spend practicing that dive thing?
Oh my God.
That dive.
I offered him a longboard beer, and he
Adam's
didn't
going
want
to
it.
go to some footage, and we can speak over it. But
Oh my god, that was like Galaxy Twitter worthy.
Yes, that needs
oh
to
my god,
happen.
it is Galaxy
That is
Twitter
so
worthy.
Galaxy
The worst.
Twitter
What's the
worthy.
song?
The Benny Hill song.
Whatever the
So,
Dave,
all
what are
right,
your
so you
thoughts?
talk
Hold on,
shit
let
to
me
players.
see Dave because he's deep in thoughts
it's
here.
playful.
I still really
No,
don't like how Nico went in there.
How many times did he get shot in the head before he fell down?
So
like
you think
that?
he went hard at
Yeah,
an angle?
total
Look at
sniper
that.
action.
No, I don't like how Nico
Did he
went
get
in
touched?
there.
Look,
'cause
Kevin Costner needs to do a
Nico's
deposition.
slide there.
Isn't it like down, around?
Oh.
When I watched it
back,
live, I'm
and
like,
back
to the left.
Yeah.
Back.
Look like
Show
he
the
needed
nice
a-
Him
dog
to the
saying
left.
it
touched
like
you.
5,000
Oh my
times
God,
is so
back
good.
and to the left.
Jesus.
Unreal. That
So,
was an unreal dive.
so you talk shit to Vitas and Valeri.
Vitas moves really fast for being like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like
And he-
out on the field, he looks so much taller than everybody else.
Best part about moving real fast, he moved really fast off that near post.
Damn.
He ran to the end line as fast as anyone.
He got his ass off the field. So, thank you for that, Vitas. Vitas. No, as a goalkeeper, the first thing I tell people, just sit your ass on the post. Don't leave. If you leave, it's your ass. And he left, and we scored a goal.
And
Good
I
for
will
us.
vouch for him. He probably would say that exactly per word. Because I was listening to you. I could hear you from the
I'm
midfield when you
sure.
were talking.
It was pretty quiet,
It was
but
great.
I, being a
He
guy
would
my
say it in
size,
Spanish,
I
though.
organize way better than I play, and just because I just try to put people in the right spot, so I don't have to do anything other than drink Slurpees.
As one should.
Icy. No, it was
So-
delicious.
So then there was this game.
Dude, it started out bad, in my opinion. I thought
A
they were
minute in, we're already taking like friggin' A. We're getting heat.
bombarded on,
Yeah.
man. I was like, what's going on?
So this is exactly what Schmetzer said to us on Saturday. He's like, they're down a bunch of players, like hot players. They're going to be dangerous. And he didn't use the word trap game, though maybe he thought about it. But you saw it coming. I think a lot of us saw it coming. Like,
Absolutely.
It's like what was written the week before and previously. Like you play Vancouver, you play Portland. It doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter anything. Teams are like, fuck you,
Yep.
we got this. And everybody comes out hot.
And throwing
No matter what.
punches.
So they came out hot.
I thought it was too hot, man. Like, I was
Yeah.
worried. Like, it seemed like we were almost just sleeping a little bit the first 5 minutes. Was it me? Or was it
Yeah,
just me?
no, we were on our heels a little bit.
I think they need to sing some "Shot Through the Heart." It's more Bon Jovi before the match. Just get
I don't know,
hype.
and that's why it was so weird. Because I thought the energy in the stadium was super strong leading into it.
I'd like us to not all show up 4 minutes before kick, maybe.
That'd be good. I mean,
Where is everybody, by the way? Because like you get in from the march
I don't
40
get it.
minutes before kick.
They're waiting in line for state burgers or something. I don't know. But
They haven't got the memo
that
yet about the
wasn't
bags.
a thing. That wasn't a thing 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, they're getting it. They're going through security. They're paying $10 to do a locker. They're taking their bag back to their car because they changed the rules in the middle of the season. Never mind.
The rules didn't change the middle of this
Well,
season.
they changed enforcement of the rules in the middle of the season.
Resale
yes,
tickets
yes, they
don't
did. I
tell
assure you
people.
they did.
Groupon probably doesn't tell
I
people.
assure you they did. They started bringing out the little cards to measure the little 4x6 purses like 4 weeks ago.
I mean,
Yeah.
but the rule has been clutch purse since the beginning of this year.
Yeah, and anyway.
At
Okay,
4 by
well, we're not
6,
going to
so-
litigate
But
this
anyway,
here.
Instead of
but-
lockers, they should just sell clear
It does
fucking
feel like
bags
we
right
are
outside
in
the
seats
stadium.
later than
Yeah.
we were 2-3 years ago,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
and I think there's a direct correlation to security theater, but
There are. You could go to
Mark
that
mentioned that it might
McDonald's
be due
stand
to the outside
outside.
activities at the stadium,
Bo-
maybe.
Get
he's
some
gonna-
fries.
He's out there boom boom apping or whatever
Yeah,
that is.
I don't know, man. That could be it. I'm usually early.
I mean,
so
drinks are what 40 to 50% outside the stadium. Like there is a point where that is a factor for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I just hang out with a guy that calls me an asshole because
I think
I'm a
for-
sinner and going to hell.
are the
hang out with
Do you
you.
guys hug?
Other
You
games
should
that
hug
might
and
be
take a
it,
selfie.
Mark
for
thinks
this
he's
game.
on mic tonight again.
Mark, not on mic. I did
No,
make
but
that joke earlier, though.
I don't think
I have
for
an
this
extra
game
mic.
it would really apply. Like I know for other games I do that. I'll stay at the bar. Maybe I won't do the Mars because I want to have some drinks.
But
with
not for
friends.
this one.
But
No.
not for this one. I mean, I was hyped, dude. I was ready. I knew I was gonna be sore this morning, and it was worth it. I didn't care. I was ready. I was in there early. I was getting my juices flowing. Yeah, I wasn't gonna be late.
I wore shoes I don't normally wear to games.
Foul.
And I came home.
Rookie move.
No, I didn't wear flip flops. And about 11:30 last night, my feet were not happy at
yeah.
all.
Oh, bad, dude. Yeah, that's a rookie mistake.
But anyway, so game kicks off.
Start out slow.
Portland came out
Fire.
Taking
like
heat.
running.
Yeah. Yeah, I was worried, man, because
Stephen Fry, like minute 2,
Dude.
was like, "What the fuck are
Yeah.
y'all doing?"
yeah.
And we're close enough in GA. Hell, you could be 30 rows back and hear him some of the time. Like when there's no song happening, he was pissed, and it wasn't like he was picking on 1 or 2 people. It was like 5 people.
Yeah, yeah.
Sidebar: was there a point where Stefan just started to own the defense? You could always see Keller just John, and I never saw
Yeah.
spurning really come out. And the first thing I thought about Stefan was that he seemed a little timid the first season or so. He just didn't
that's
seem
gone.
to have.
That is gone. I agree. I
No,
agree.
he takes
Completely.
serious
Dave will
leadership
probably
of
have a
that defense.
specific
Now-
opinion about this.
Now for sure he seems to have more.
Oh, yeah, dude. Complete
You
control.
done screwed up,
I think when he
Ron.
first got here, he had Chad Marshall, at the time 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and winning Defensive Player of the Year again in that first season. And you'd come off of a injury-plagued final 2 years at Toronto, where when healthy,
From Toronto,
you
you're a
weren't
beaten dog.
doing very well. You know, it's like, yeah, you're going to listen to Chad Marshall. You're not going to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
And then over time, you know, but even then, you know, he had Brad Evans, who was the captain, was the other center back for a while. You know,
Yep.
he had Jimmy. Was Jimmy there the first year? Was it the fact of the matter is he had so much seniority and guys that have worn the armband for their club or their country in front of him. It's kind of hard to scream at guys with more experience than you, but eventually it's like, well, I'm the keeper. It's my job.
Do you think that the change with Schmetzer coming in for Ziggy also kind of opened up that for him to say, hey, I need you to be more vocalized, whereas before Brad and Chad were more, you know, Siggy's leaders on defense?
I don't really remember the change happening then.
Okay.
I just don't. I know his first year he was calmer, but he had 2.5 seasons under Ziggy, and I don't really think it was a coaching thing. I think it was a seniority thing.
Just kind of, well, I mean, sometimes people just defer, and
I mean, it's a 3-time defense. It's the best
Yeah.
defender to make
exactly.
You're
Exactly.
telling Chad Marshall how to defend it.
I
Isn't
don't
a good way to.
But that thing is, I don't see
Improve his
from my
defense.
angle. I don't see Chad Marshall directing traffic a whole. I really don't see a whole lot of people. Maybe it's because they're professionals and they don't have to.
Well, Brad screams and points
Okay.
quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
Like
but
when he's
Brad's on
on
a
the
milk
field,
carton.
we've forgotten about it for a little while. But you know, as we're talking a couple years ago, when Brad was playing center back, he was constantly telling people
he's-
where to be and
Yeah,
what to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Even this year, when we saw him in his couple of starts, even when he came on as a sub, he's like pushing people up, pulling people back. And he will always be a coach on the field, and maybe that's some of why Fry didn't need to talk, because Brad was center back that first year too. And Brad talks a lot, almost as much as a keeper does, and that's unusual.
Well, I'm glad that Fry talked and he was livid.
Holding
you
people
said.
accountable.
You had to, because man, they were just getting by on our asses the first 15 minutes, man. I was really worried, but after that, it looks like, you know, Rodon and Honey Badger started selling and taking control of the middle, and it kind of just, I don't know, it got better for us. At what point do you guys think that we started to kind of get more aggressive on our end?
Dead air.
He's
This
got that
happens.
spot.
That's why we don't do a live show on the Flanders B team.
He prepped the spot though. He knows what he's doing. You got the research.
Well, yeah, and I've got a little bit of the research,
Nice.
but I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, the Jovan Jones. I don't have the play sequence in front of me, but the Jovan Jones goal. Can somebody walk through the? You can. I know you can walk through the sequence of that.
Jovan Jones did not play in this match.
Am I looking at the wrong? God damn it! All right.
You are fired.
I'm so fired.
No,
We're going to show the Christian Roldan goal.
Thank
That had,
you.
What, 15 touches?
What am I looking at?
So
All right.
Adam's going to throw that
That's
up.
the one that Dempsey drew.
Okay.
Ooh, here we
So
go.
there's this Christian Roldan goal.
I'm fired.
Wow.
I'm fired.
2, 4, 5, 6 touches. It looks
That was
like.
a mess.
1.
Some of them
2,
happen so
3,
rapidly you can only
4,
see them on
5,
the Levy film
6.
Yes,
slow-mo.
exactly. I'm
Wow.
looking at it like, Jesus, how is that not how,
He also
how
has
is that
a-
not a handball?
A better angle
How does Torres fall down?
than the TV has.
Oh, my God. He was like almost going away from the goal at the last second. One, stepping away, and then, oof.
And then Vitas left his post. He had a guy. There to kind of mark, but
He's your boy.
Oh, you're right. He
was never really on.
I gotta go.
Even in
No,
slow
it looks like
motion,
he was trying to mark Bruin. He
Yeah,
wasn't on
yeah.
the post.
Do you know what didn't
And then he
work?
just kind of didn't move.
No, he didn't.
honestly,
Also,
I'm an amateur. Set
he
him up.
kept Christian on side.
Yeah, he did.
In the Levy film side, Vitas isn't on the screen.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure out how Christian. And then I'm like, well, I've got this ultra zoomed in slow mo because of the angle. Seeing it on the one that we can see on the show is
Adam just gestured behind the computer. He's
Vitas
over
is,
here.
He's over here.
He's somewhere
Yeah.
near this Tacoma Stars sticker.
So he's no longer marking a person, nor space, nor the post, and he kept the goal scorer on side because Christian is running from near on the end line
Yeah, he
or on
was.
the goal line backwards.
Was that in the 37th
That is a
minute?
mess.
Or?
I honestly watch. You have to watch everything like 2 or 3 times, and then you see Roldan is just kind of in the net for a second, and then he comes around, and like, how do you?
By the way, his face. Yeah. So let's talk about Roldan for a second.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a couple of stats here. We have a sound at heart thing I want to talk about in a minute, but so shots for the whole game.
Shots,
17, 4 from Roldan. Shots on goal, 6, 3 from Roldan. Okay.
He's okay. He's
That
he's a good
guy's
guy.
decent.
Yeah, it doesn't suck at all.
So none of us are surprised that he's getting his due
Yes.
and getting another call up.
And he's gonna be repping the national team this weekend.
That's awesome.
So
that is
he's
so awesome, dude. I was
if
hyped
you
when
were
I saw
trying,
that.
if you had shots with Roldan on Friday night in U District, you lost because he's hopefully having shots on goal with the national team this weekend. I mean, good for him. Like, I don't know if I were to say there's going to be 6 shots on goal for the Sounders in any given week, that I would ever say 50% of them are going to be from Christian
From your
Roldan.
defensive midfielder?
you know,
Nah,
Holy
that's
shit!
weird.
yeah. But he knows where to be. He's at the right place at the right time. He's like, he reminds me of Chicharito when he's on the attack.
Of course, he reminds you of Chicharito.
Look, I'm just saying that. In
Miss
a way,
Butterworth
only because
reminds me of Chicharito.
he.
I mean, Hugo does like pancakes.
But I will say though, some people just know where to be. They're at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
It's not something that.
But that's the same shit Ozzy pulls, where you're like, you're not really paying attention to the whole field, and Ozzy's like sort of out of your line of sight, and a ball gets loose, and all of a sudden, dude rolls up, and 4 other guys come at him, and he just comes out with the ball and throws one of them on the ground because that's what he does. You're like, you just know where to be. Like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And again, like, not that he needed to like learn from the best. He came in with a lot of that, and he's continued to prove it week after week after week.
I joke around, but I did buy a customized U.S. national team jersey with the rolled on, and I've been wearing it since the day I got it. But I clicked send and bought it the day before the red and blue kits came out. You know, like the U.S. national team and Nike had everybody kind of wearing their warm-up tops, and then all of a sudden, like as a TIFO or something, they all reveal their fucking kits that everybody knew because it was leaked. But I have the white one.
It's a great shirt.
And, ever since I've been wearing it, I mean, we are undefeated at home. Rolled on has scored 4 goals and still does not thank me yet.
Why doesn't he understand that you're the reason?
Seriously.
He's liked a couple of things on Twitter. I think I'm intimidating. Like,
Is that what it is?
I understand you're intimidating.
Is it because you're a keeper that he hasn't scored on yet?
Yeah.
Challenge
It's because I keep trying to trade shirts with him, and it's like, that's a night shirt on me, bro. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, you know what, though? I do really feel a lot better about our future in the middle with him. You know, like, hopefully Ozzy's still the same pace next year or two. But if something were to happen to him injury-wise, because he tends to have a couple, I'm good. I'm good knowing that we have fucking Christian Roldan taking care of business. And there's a sense, to me, I get a sense that he's still getting better, man. He could
he's
get
growing.
better.
He's absolutely growing.
Only 2 or 3 years.
I think that's one of the advantages of getting him U.S. national team time is it's giving him exposure to other coaches, other players, both players that he plays alongside. I know a lot of the Sounders community don't like Michael Bradley, but the fact of the matter is he's a damn good player.
I love Michael Bradley.
Nope, not me.
Having Christian Roldan learn from how Michael Bradley understands the game, and let's be honest, Michael Bradley understands the game quite well. His dad might have something to do with that.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be great.
I love Michael Bradley.
And then having Christian face,
The
some
Bradleys
quality,
are your haircut
some
idols.
quality players from Panama and Honduras and Mexico. That's going to help him too, because he takes, when he watches other players, he takes a little bit from them and puts it into his game.
Yeah, he runs. Are we talking about Bradley or Roldan?
Roldan.
Okay.
Just that he can learn from guys like Bradley.
Yeah,
and thankfully Jermaine Jones isn't there, so he won't learn that.
Yeah, he's fit as all heck. He can run. He's the top 3 of the beep test, right?
Yeah.
And hey,
And
why
I
not?
think
And he's tenacious.
The experience now is like, dude, I belong. I can play at this level. Let's go. Like, you saw him turn that switch when he came back, man.
Speaking of the tenacity, if you ever watch him play, because of his size, he always injects himself in that path. Like the ball carrier, say it's Valeri, he's running up the field, he's side by side with him. He just inserts himself, like just dives right in to defend, and he basically has to get pushed off the ball at that point. He just cuts right in, like with his arms and his shoulders. And
you're reminding me of when I was driving in Kuwait, because when I was stationed in Kuwait, I was the driver for my team, and they have basically no traffic laws there. But essentially, you're at fault if their wheels were in front of you.
Okay. Shit.
Yeah. So and so Christian drives
If
like the
Geiger was a
Kuwaiti
motorcycle
driver,
cop.
right? So basically, what he does.
First opportunity.
No, we
and
went an hour plus, though. How long did we go? What time is it?
You were absolutely
an
right.
hour and 10 minutes.
Christian, when he gets that, he gets like a half centimeter of his front wheel, and he's already turning in front of the guy.
Yes,
so they're going to clip him, and in this game,
and that's what
that's your ground. You've got it, and you'll get the call.
Jump in there, yeah, exactly. He gets knocked over. Let's do that. Watch it next time.
So there's
you can't unsee it.
There's my Dave driving in Kuwait story.
Love that.
And
I mean, we should have one.
You know what I don't like driving
around.
into? I don't like driving into a PK in the 45th minute. What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
Oh my God!
All right,
so that.
Do we
so
want
I
to talk
thought
about
tackle-
Yeah, why not?
Well, I
Penalty?
mean, it's the game.
It's
It happens.
So there's this penalty rolling.
So
It's a penalty.
the letter of the law. It's a penalty.
How do you really feel?
I mean, all right, I'm seeing it from a
Let
different
me
angle.
see it another 20 times.
The
Weigel.
player.
We can do that.
Who's the player? Is it Maddox?
Maddox.
It is Maddox.
Maddox makes a run around Torres.
Oh, yeah.
And the ball's played on a dime, and you get fucking 9 cents back.
I
Or
think
is
more
it
like
just
7
that-
cents back.
7
dude.
cents back.
So
Torres,
I wish we
Torres
it's a
loses his
penalty.
mark. He brings it down.
Because
and then
Maddox is turning around, it looks to me like shoulder to shoulder, but I don't see the feet getting tangled.
Well,
I know the feet got tangled.
Right there, you can see Leardom with his
Shove him.
right arm shove the back,
Oh, yeah.
That's who it was given to.
and you also see.
Well, I think
Stephen
everybody
Fry
was calling
clear out
no
his
because
legs.
they called Steph, but he's
Well, they
kind
both
of
fouled
sliding
him, so it doesn't
forward
really matter.
at
Yeah.
the Leardom moment.
Yeah.
At this, okay, the part that hurts the most is he is on the outside of the 6, and that ball is going over the end line.
Yeah, this is.
And both guys pretty much too many bodies for him not to draw contact there.
Would you say that there was too
there's
many
no
cooks?
opportunity there. I just don't feel like there's a goal scoring opportunity. I really don't. I
But
don't
there
feel
doesn't
like
need
there's
to be a
control.
goal scoring opportunity for there to be a foul called.
Was it ball?
There was no yellow card. There was no red card.
No.
So they're not saying that there was interference with a goal scoring opportunity.
So basically,
They're
the
just
ball
saying there was
being
a foul.
So the ball being far away doesn't matter because it was a foul away from the ball. But
A
still
foul
in
is
the
a
bo-
foul.
Gotcha.
Is he fouled inside the area?
Yeah, he's fouled. He gets clipped from behind. Like I said, he
Right
makes
there,
that run in
he's
between
fouled.
Torres and Leardom, and the ball.
He's not even in his instep. I mean, I don't know. This two-dimensional,
So what you're
two-dimensional
saying
screen
is
is screwing me up. But
that Marky
it didn't
Mark
look like a foul to
should
me.
have called it like womp womp.
Yeah.
and just let it go.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was 3 rows up. There were no flags.
This is
in front of
Adam,
me.
our
I was
producer.
literally right in front of that happening, and it looked exactly like it was called.
Okay,
So-
fine.
From 3 rows away.
I'm not hating.
Right at me.
I'm just hating on
Now that
it
Adam's
happened,
agreed with
not
me,
that
I'm
it's-
changing my mind.
Needless to say, shitty timing.
Yeah, terrible
it
timing.
Definitely
Okay.
deflated the whole.
One of
And
the
I
things
thought
we
he
talk
saved
about
it.
on our cast is this thing called Kramer goals, and
Kramer
Kramer
goals.
goals. It's just like a
Elaborate.
study of when most of the goals are scored.
The shit you
first
give up
5
in
minutes of the
stupid
half,
time.
last 5
Yeah.
minutes of the half, and within 5 minutes of each other. That's when most people. And that's why Kansas City gives up all those late goals to us, is because they've checked out and they're fucking exhausted. And you can always get a goal right after a goal because. Hey, how many times have we barely finished saying, Christian, roll on? And then we're already under pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We haven't sat back down yet. Or Christian gets a second goal against San Jose. We hadn't. Okay, I said sit down.
Yeah, it goes
That's
both
my
ways.
bad.
Okay.
So Kramer goal. If you ever hear that basically goals that happen while you're kind of
Gotcha.
freaking checked out.
Learn something new.
Within
I
5
like
minutes
that
of each
shit.
other. I can't find it online. So if you look it up, please let me know.
What, the stat?
Yeah,
Last
well,
5 minutes, goals against after
I've-
another goal?
I've Googled it, but that's just something I learned in college.
That's just
What do you
gotta
guys
put the
think about? I
metrics
mean, I'm going to bring it up because it was all over Twitter all day today and yesterday. What do you guys think of Jordan's first half?
I have to be very gentle with Jordan because
The special effects are not from us,
Trainer
guys.
I know you had a soundboard,
something's
Adam.
off. And Dave, I was
He's
kind
not
of busting your nuts
finishing.
too. I mean, he is the 2017 version of Nelson Valdez.
This is the first half, though. I thought in the first half he was doing pretty darn good, man. He was making runs. He had one tough angle shot where he went with his left foot.
Oh yeah. And then it was the second half, 5 minutes in, that he had this.
That's why I mentioned. the
If you
first
look
half.
at, I'm not going to say it's Valdez because one, Valdez didn't play through an injury for about 3 months.
Whose fault is that?
Well, in
Where are you
this
going
case,
He was
No,
mentioned.
not Valdez. Yeah, Valdez. Who knows? But I mean, Jordan Morris. I mean, he played through injury for sure. Is that just?
let's look at who the options were for Schmetzer to start during that time, since those were remember when we had 16 guys available.
Oh, I remember.
Let's see. Kovar was hurt.
That's why we call Oscar.
Nagel wasn't on the team. Virat
we
wasn't
need
on the
players.
team. Brad Evans wasn't healthy. Kovar, I already did Kovar. Wingo was hurt. Adekoya was hurt. Victor Mansouri was on loan. So if you didn't have Jordan Morris, you would have started Will Bruin, Clint Dempsey, Nico Ladero, a frog.
I like those so far.
Yeah, well, we didn't have Nuhu playing the position and have the impact to be able to push Jones up.
We didn't know that Nuhu could be there. So they played through and they lost a lot because of it.
in Colorado.
Probably.
That struggle in that first third of the season, he wasn't Jordan Morris. And I've said this so many times. He has one world-class talent. It's his speed. He has some other pretty good talents. He puts in, this year particularly, he's putting in decent defensive effort, particularly yesterday. He put in great defensive effort.
Yes,
His ability to read space and make runs has improved so much this year, where particularly now that he can get up to his full speed. But when he can't get to his full speed, he is just an average MLS forward.
So on that note,
I
there were
agree.
there
I
were
can't-
moments. There was one. So from 122 to my left, so to the right of the goal, that he absolutely smoked some people coming back to the line for the ball. on the one shot, well, there were a couple, but on the one shot that he had from the left of the goal, that he put the ball straight into Attinella and then ran to the end line, pissed off.
Yeah, feeling sorry for himself.
Do you think he took himself out of that play? Because
he took himself out of both of them.
Yeah.
Jeff Attinella both times.
They bounced off. The ball bounced off him.
And there was no secondary runner because Jordan's so fast that he outrun his whole team.
But he looked like he was more,
and then on the
not
show
more
the
interested
other
in
week.
like throwing his hands up. But he took himself out of the play.
I think the first one he was so fast that
he does that
if he
all
tried to turn
the
around,
time.
he would have fallen over.
He does it all the time. He tries to outrun the defender with the ball, and he just makes it to the end line, and there's nobody to give it to. Instead of just being a little bit more creative up the field.
No, he took the right play.
He took the right shot.
Okay. There are times where you do that, and like you're already past the keeper, and it's no big deal.
You're saying
this
the
case,
inability to get the rebound is
in this case,
another
the ball
problem.
bounced off Attinella, and he's still being emotive on the end line there.
You know what I want to see him do?
Chase that ball down afterwards.
Turn around.
And then pound it into Attinella again.
Watch.
And then pound it
Which,
into
by the way,
Attinella
would be
again.
better than what happened.
And do like what Torres did, basically. Slam it into Attinella like 5 times.
That's
You
the
can't
equivalent
stop my left foot.
That's the equivalent of spinning in foosball. Just. But I want to see Jordan Morris. Did anybody see Wondolowski's goal on Howard? Or was it Howard? No. He just pretty much pulled the Panenka. He pulled the Panenka. Faked a shot. The keepers, everybody, that. And now Attinella would have been perfect because everyone knows he's opened up his hits. He opened up his hip. He's going far post with it. But if you just flip it right over, and he's going to get his groove back. He's going to have some huge cojones, and he's just.
He went with the high. He went with the high shot.
Attinella's where he was supposed to be at the end of the day. It feels like he's taken himself out of those plays, especially when he knows he's the only person down there.
Especially knows we're going to talk about him on our pod after.
He is thrilled.
My point is,
he's not caring.
Why
at all.
is he the only person down there? Why is he putting himself in that situation? I know he's fast, but he doesn't have to be fast in that situation because he doesn't have anybody to give the ball to. He doesn't have anybody to cross it into,
the problem with this argument,
with,
or against,
alternate,
again,
to
I
flip,
played
to
ice
switch,
hockey a lot
to do the
growing
things
up.
you gotta do.
Like dump and chase works.
No, you talk over him.
If you know what you're
talk
doing,
over him.
you can just have the faster players, or have the players that
all the time.
know how to read the bounce.
We're talking to each other. I'm listening.
No, but like you have players that know how to read that, and like he knows how to read that, and he's been that guy for so long.
Here's what
that
we
he
need.
plays that game,
and it needs to happen. Nico Ladero is fast enough that he could have been there for a rebound. Rather, like thread the ball and stop moving doesn't work. Thread the ball and run is fine.
Yeah, your work is
Christian
not
Roldan
done.
can chase as well. Now, I don't expect Clint to do it. I don't expect
That's not
Will
gonna
Bruin to do it.
No.
To quote Will Bruin to me at one point, I can make the same runs that Jordan Morris does. Eventually.
Well, his job is to occupy. If he takes the center backs in one direction, that opens space for Jordan.
But on those two runs,
Lamar's got speed. Maybe Lamar could get up there when
well,
he's
they
on
didn't
the
get
field.
to play together this time.
Well, no. Eventually, I
Yeah.
could see that. I could see
What about
that
the new
happening.
guy?
That's a very Lamar type of goal too. Would be to chase and just slam in the rebound.
let's talk about
that's like
him.
a
For
third.
show,
Yeah.
for show.
So let's talk about Victor Rodriguez.
V8,
V8,
V-Rod.
V-Rod.
Yeah, fuck that
Vic-
V-Rod bullshit.
You don't like Vic Rod?
Ass,
No,
also
that's-
weak nicknames.
Yeah.
Think a little bit. Anyway,
Is somebody drinking some Vaderade?
Should have had a V8.
so that's like the people who Frankie Rodriguez was a baseball pitcher on the Angels, among other teams.
F-Rod?
And people were like, why can't we call him F-Rod? And you're like, think about that for maybe a second.
Why not call him fraud? What's the problem with that?
You're like, you've got Fraud, you have
Hey, we have the big unit. We've got the big unit.
This
played-
which you get double entendre,
And we call them
yet
A-
amazing.
But the big unit
What's
was
with the
great.
Mariners and
It
all
was
their
amazing.
double entendres? We had A-Rod. We had
We had the big unit
the big
and
unit.
the little unit.
And the-
Ryan
Dun, dun,
Anderson.
dun. So let's talk about Rodriguez.
Hammer?
Yes.
So there's always a couple times when a player steps on the field and changes a little bit of the dynamic.
Yes.
aside from he and Nico on the same side of the field together, which is fantastic, them on the other side of the field from one another, he's still new. And I think just like we saw with Leardom, soccer's an interesting thing where new players come out and they literally do different things with their feet. And if you just pay attention to that, he's got some of the same stuff that we talked about this with Papa, where he just does different things with the ball.
Yeah.
And he's the same way. He goes up and I'm like, he doesn't even pull a step over. He just kind of looks at you and does random shit and then runs away with the ball. And it works so far. Like Ladero, people will learn his tendencies. Super fun to watch. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep changing the dynamic on the field, but something about that type of speed, and he's 31, the way he employs his
31?
speed is just different.
Is he really 31?
Who's 31?
Rodriguez.
I thought he was 28.
I think he was 28. No, I think he's 28. Producer.
I've heard from two people how old he is. Either way, he's not 22.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
But it's a mystery.
He's not Jordan Morris.
Even if he's 28.
Oh, okay.
28.
So, by the way, well,
Better.
never
We get 3
mind.
years
I'll
from
quote
him.
the official source that told me he was 31 the other day, but that's a different discussion. It doesn't matter. He employs his speed differently. It's almost like that micro bursts of speed where he just hangs out for a second and then takes 10 yards off you.
Yeah, it's
it's fun to watch.
I like him, man. I really like him.
But it's also not
nice.
confusing.
It's
I don't
on-
necessarily know if it makes us better yet, because it almost throws such a loop into the offense.
Anybody that can move the ball or not lose the ball,
I'll
dynamite.
take it. Yeah.
Doesn't
oh my
really-
God, talking about losing the ball, man.
Let's
Sorry, a
maybe
couple of
not
turf
talk
monsters.
about
Let's
this at
not
all.
talk
from
about
time
it.
to
There was a
time.
lot
Yeah.
of that going on in the first.
So he's super fun to watch.
Yes.
I've enjoyed, what do we have, 2 matches of him so far?
I'll take him all day. So far, I think he's going to be a great addition.
Durless who?
What do you guys think?
I think Vic Rod's going to be fantastic.
So anyway,
I'm going to go dehydrate.
What about you, there?
Apple Bureau does not appreciate that.
also
Apple
Yeah.
Bureau.
I read the Twitter.
great.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
So
No, I think he's going to be fantastic. Like you said, he's going to be a great kind of slot in for Papa. I think you're right that people are going to start to kind of figure out his little head
Like
fakes
Ladero,
and whatnot.
like, it's
right?
gonna
And
change.
he's going to have to do something a little bit different every time. And if he can maintain that creativity, he's going to be a great, just midfield option. He's going to be fantastic.
One of
It
the
just-
things I like from Rodriguez more than Papa is Papa
Ooh.
tended to slow the ball down
Yeah.
when he was in that possession mode.
And he's more
And
explosive.
Rodriguez is like,
Head down.
when he's in the central third of the field,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, this is wasted space. I'm going to get the ball in. And so he
Yes.
doesn't slow down until he's about 20 yards from goal.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what are my options now? But when he's 50 yards from goal, he's like, I need to be 30 yards
Yep.
forward. And he'll do whatever he can to get the ball
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
into
That's what
that-
I'm screaming. Dale,
into
dale,
those
dale,
dangerous,
dale, dale, dale.
dangerous
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
Where that's a little bit more Nico than Clint, if that makes sense. Clint will
Yeah.
dilly-dally, stand on the ball at the center
Yeah.
line and kind
And
of look
our-
around for a little
I think
bit.
that's
I have
a
to tell you, though, there's a couple things Clint does. Again, watch his feet alone, where his upper body's going that way, and he's like, oh, no,
Yep.
I'm just going to outside of my boot this ball back to somebody. And he does it, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. Oh, that's where the try shit comes from.
So at practice, they're wrapping up, and I'm waiting to talk to Will Bruin Saturday, right? And Nuhu and Chad were leaving the field at the same time. Nuhu had a ball at his feet, and Chad goes, hit it with the outside of your foot. No, the outside. And then so Nuhu blasted with his right foot outside of the boot, maybe a 55-yard pass, pinpoint to the guy who was collecting the balls with the outside of his boot. And I'm like,
That's a great segue.
So he was shooting the ball.
Can we talk about that great
Yeah.
segue?
They
though?
do that on
because
Are we going to talk? Which
like, he was
segue?
asked to-
the Nuhu
he was
segue.
commanded to do it by.
Does he normally use
No.
the outside of his boot?
No, he uses the inside. For,
Maybe that's
All right.
should be a shot selection.
Well,
It'd be
prior-
like Jordan
Yeah.
Morris.
Prior to
Well, he
the
likes-
red card,
We've got that, by the way.
the red card or prior to the red card?
I'm going to talk
Bye,
about
Tim.
prior, but I'll look at it.
It's like Oktoberfest. You just go outside.
No.
Just kidding.
He totally would too.
Now,
I'm glad we just have video of me falling over on the edge of the bench.
Anybody. I haven't seen a really good video.
I want the reverse angle of that of what's been shown.
Yeah, me too.
It might not exist.
He just doesn't mirror.
I just know that
that would actually be fantastic.
I just know he completely
here you go.
Show it. Yeah.
hurdled another defender. Got
The
through.
worst part is you actually have a producer that could do that live on the air. Hey, Mark.
Maybe. Mark's going to demand like 7 more stays at your house.
Yeah. No, but even before that, though, the dude played an amazing game, especially with all this talk about not having Jovan Jones, how he has such a big loss. I think Nuhu keeps improving each game, man.
Mm-hmm. He likes taking those long shots, and if hitting it from the outside of the boot is going to make that happen and put those on target, then fine, do it. Do whatever you need to do. And if we can be a little more dangerous from those long shots that Ozzy used to be able to take and can't take quite as frequently anymore, I think it's going to be fantastic.
Dude, and
he's also made flak jackets cool.
Yeah.
Which is like upside.
I'm like 90% certain that even though he has that weird brace thing on, he still separated his shoulder in the game and had to play through it because there was no... when he was lying there and his arm wasn't moving...
Because it
was
was
played
out.
through it because there was no left...
piece.
There's no
I
left
wouldn't be
back.
shocked.
Like,
Yeah. No, but even
well,
on...
I mean, there's O'Neal Fisher, but I
on
guess he's now
defense-
considered no left back.
Ruh-roh.
Damn.
Tim, you're back.
Yes.
Hey, Tim.
Donde está el
Yeah,
baño?
so I expect...
Over there, Ro.
You actually already know now.
Yeah.
Sí, atrás.
Hey, Tim, hablas
I would have gone
español.
with allá, but that's okay.
No, no.
I learned all that Spanish at the ATM. Just
But let me tell you, though,
What
as
the
much...
fuck does that even mean?
Do you have any money left?
You are fired.
that's
Tim put his card in and hit Espanol, and then was like,
I'm the asshole in front of
and it's
you.
like, put in your pin, and he's like, I got nothing. Actually, this is super
Starting
appropriate.
0-0.
Eclipse has happened.
Is that a fat joke?
I mean, it is now.
I don't see the clips. What are we talking about?
Oh, you got the... Oh, there we are.
So moving on.
No, let me go back to Nuhu. On defense, the
Yolo?
guy was just as good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just as good. Like, he had this one play. It was, I think, like in an extra time or we were...
Your fabric softener is amazing.
I know.
Continue.
But seriously, he had this play where he had the confidence to, like, tap the ball over the player that was running at him. And it was, like, super scary because it looked like the ball might take a bad bounce.
Yeah.
And he just tapped it over the player. And he was the last guy there. Like, he was the last guy. If he fucked that up, they were going to score. And
Did you just censor yourself?
Yeah, I totally did. He had no worry, like, his confidence is like, dude, I'm taking this opportunity now by the boss and going nonstop.
Yeah. And when you're young and you can have that confidence and actually utilize it and build actual confidence instead of just cockiness, it's great. He's going to be an amazing defender.
So what you're saying is there's a confident soccer player that goes by one name. That's new. I've never heard of that before.
And he's
And he's on our
all
team,
last
so-
year at S2. And honestly, I didn't see this from him. Like, I saw him play a lot.
He grew up quick.
Quick. Like,
Fast
boom.
and
In the
flurry.
Necaxa match. Or the...
It could be that, but he really just...
German.
He's turned it up a notch, man.
Hey, what... anyone
Sorry,
know
I was told to lean in.
what he's wearing under his jersey? What
We talked about that
apparatus is
while you
that?
were having Oktoberfest.
Because he's twice
Yeah.
separated his shoulder this year, and then I think it might be 3 times now.
Kevin wins the bet.
But he did it. The first time was an S2 game early in the season.
Yeah.
It was significant.
It looked bad.
And
Like,
huge,
he was-
and he had to be stretchered
I could
off.
hear him- I could hear him
Ambulance
yell.
took away.
From the press box.
And Jordy DeLem had to come out of the stands because no one else knew French.
Oh, not
And-
to put his boots on.
And yeah, normally they wouldn't allow but he was so injured, the ref's like, and everybody's like, I don't know what he's saying. And I've asked Jordy, like, their French is almost in no way similar at all.
Wow.
Like,
It's
Like
a
my
Creole,
textbook
right?
Spanish.
Geordie
Yeah.
is more of a Creole and island.
So there's useful Spanish, and then there's textbook Spanish.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I got some
And then
full
there's
price stuff to sell you.
Spanglish.
'cause-
Tim's got some vosotros going on, and it is crazy.
No,
But
Yeah.
both languages are a little bit of a patois because in Cameroon a lot of native words pop in, and
That's Spanglish.
it's
Spanglish.
yeah, and it's not a very formal version of French either
Especially
because
not when
of
you're in
education.
pain.
Well, a lot
then
of us
he's
are
in
going to start looking into
serious
learning
pain.
it.
Yeah.
Because that kid is blowing up. And
He
he's
does
doing-
have. There is a new Who Choo Choo 2 poll.
Does he really?
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
because that shit is real.
Wow.
That guy coming up the field, dude. Wow, like Jimmy Traore is probably like, shit. I've done that before, but that dude just jumped over somebody. Like, okay,
Did you see the
yeah.
back pass that he did to Fry, where Fry was like, after Fry cleared the ball, he was like,
Don't do that again.
What the fuck? Seriously, what did you do?
Don't make me look like Tim Howard.
Fry
Don't make me look
literally
like Tim
yelled at
Howard.
everyone. Ozzy at one point was in the 6, and Fry's like, don't do whatever that was that you just did. And I'm like,
he dribbled.
I didn't see him.
He
Is that what it
dribbled
was?
the dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so Ozzy's in the 6 with a man on him, and he's like, I'm going to dribble a guy. And Fry's like, the hell you are. Clear the
You
damn
are
ball.
absolutely not
myself.
to do that.
Like, pick it up off of your feet. You're like, you're going to give him the ball anyway. I mean, he got away with it. But, yeah, the Nuhu's back pass was about 2 yards wide. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that to Fry. Like, one thing Portland did really well was high pressure. And they could do it
All
because Darren Maddox.
game.
All day long. Yeah.
It's Darren Maddox versus Fernando Adi. Adi's not going to run like that. No. Maddox will run all
Nonstop. Yeah.
So before we get into really fun random shit, there's this handball thing. Maybe you guys saw it. And by saw it, I mean literally everyone in the entire stadium saw it. Even the people in the bathroom saw
Zarek
it.
Valentine plays the part of Nate McMillan stealing the ball on the inbound pass.
Basically.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that happened.
That's the best
And
Arm forward.
comment of the night.
Adam.
The other thing I want to say
This is Adam, our producer.
There
That's the
Can't
mic
see
that
us.
doesn't work.
were,
Marky Mark.
there were many sides.
Oh, yeah.
God.
There were many sides.
Yeah, many sides of people that saw the handball.
Wow. Wow.
All
sides.
4
Many-
sides
yes.
of the stadium saw that monstrosity.
Handball, that looked like a handball.
Okay,
Yep.
we talked about
Are
this.
we playing?
There's a
Are
difference
you actually
between
playing
ball
this
to
on
hand.
the
Yeah,
thing?
it's playing.
Oh, okay, that's
Ball
great.
to hand is your hands are on your
We need
side.
to get some of that
If it doesn't
technology.
hit your hand, it's going to hit your body.
Right. He saw this coming
Yeah.
and
And even though
not
he wasn't
move his arm.
successful at it, he
No,
actually
he's like,
tried
oh, here's my arm.
His arm
to use his arm to settle the
his
ball
arm goes
at
out
his gosh
bigger.
darn
It went
feet.
out.
Yeah.
Because it starts in, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Bad call.
that's
Or bad
kind
no
of a handball.
Horrible no call.
I generally know that something may
Boo you,
actually
Marky
be a
Mark.
call when Clint Dempsey is even on, like, that's a handball.
So that's in the box, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's VAR
that's-
eligible.
Yeah.
Why didn't it?
Well, any
As
handball
far
would be
as we
VAR
understand.
But one of the misconceptions about VAR is the VAR, video assistant referee, can only recommend to the center ref to do
Right.
something.
And he can wave off.
command. And then the center ref can listen to them, and like they do to the AR or the fourth official, and just change their call. Or they can go to the video replay device, and still it's up to the center ref for the final decision.
So
Nobody
what's this,
gets to tell the center
what is
ref
this
what to do.
listening thing that you speak of?
They have the little Agent Smith jobbers
I'm
in
being
there.
totally facetious.
Thank you,
Okay.
drive-through.
It's like, wow, you haven't seen those before,
Welcome
buddy?
to the show.
Oh my god.
I've been here. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Shade. You know, I fucked up one time, Tom.
I mean,
Fucked up one time.
in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Dude,
okay.
we expect at least 5. That's,
Yeah,
that's
all
our
right.
standard.
So
Minimum.
That's our standard.
Minimum.
So it's 10
We
after
do that
9.
5
We're running
times
a little
show.
hot.
I'm
Thank
at
you,
the quota.
everybody that's here. We're going to
not
talk
singing.
for a little bit. Well, they'll sing at some point.
Okay, all right.
So we're going to ask some fun questions.
All right.
Some of you gentlemen have been here before.
Yeah, yeah.
How many SonarFeed questions have you seen while you've been here?
SonarFeed questions have I seen while I've been here today?
Or been asked in general?
Let's see. I've never been on the show. I've heard them asked of a number of people.
Tim?
I can recall maybe 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Tim
They're a
was
little
super
goofy.
drunk that day.
Yeah, he was.
Because he answered like 15.
Wow,
Just kidding.
15 questions, Tim.
And they were the same question.
Is it lightning round
Same
style?
answer.
So we're gonna do.
He's making it up.
We're gonna ask some questions, and we're
All
gonna
right.
start with the easy one first,
Okay.
which isn't about tacos.
It's not.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's about Biggie or Tupac.
Or Tupac.
Only
if you're
one
thinking
answer gets
about
you
it,
killed.
you've already lost.
Are you
Tupac.
asking me
I'm Tupac.
personally?
We're asking both of
Both
you.
of you.
I'm
Biggie
pro
all
Tupac.
day.
Pro Tupac.
Biggie all day.
I'm pro Tupac.
We're gonna have a
Yeah.
East versus West
Yeah.
battle.
Actually,
here.
now I want to know
Oh,
why.
look at
Why
it.
Tupac?
Oh!
West Coast. I grew up. I mean, the grew up. 95. His double All Eyes on Me CD.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's
Like-
go.
So I was
Where are we
in the,
going?
I was in the Army.
How
I
do
was
you
on.
want
Dude,
it?
he's throwing out the West Coast.
How
We're going
do
to
you
the
want
West
it?
Coast.
I was in Yakima Training Center in the Army in like 1990. When did Biggie actually?
95.
95.
Yeah.
95.
It was my first year.
Wasn't
and
Hanford
my-
still
my-
like a nuclear site?
No,
No,
that's
Yakima.
like 180 miles
Yakima.
further away.
Anyway,
You're the same
No, your
person who
local
thinks
geography.
Rutgers
It was
is
a
an
joke.
university.
it was a joke. I don't actually think Rutgers.
If
is
you have to
university,
say
so
it's a
fuck
joke.
you.
But yeah, I was at Yakima Training Center, and this dude, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have the phone. Somebody sent him like a text message and said, "Oh my God, they killed Biggie," and he's running around the camp all day. Oh my
shit.
God, they killed Biggie. Oh my God, they killed Biggie. So yeah, I remember that day. It was kind of crazy. Kind of a crazy day. I didn't have a deep connection to Biggie Smalls at that time.
You know, on speed dial.
No, I didn't. No, not really. No.
No.
But I mean, if I have to choose
He
between
used to
the
send
two, yeah.
He used to send me, pager hits.
Yeah?
Back in the day.
Back in the day?
long
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sky pager.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Next question, though.
No less than how many deep?
We're very bad at rapid fire, by the way.
We are really
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
All right,
All
so
right.
we're gonna actually go. You
Lightning
ready?
round, let's go.
I wanted to know because I expected you to be both on the same page, and you were not.
Yeah.
Shocked me.
So,
you guys keep
Ugo.
us on our toes.
Exactly, no shit.
All right, this is the one that everybody here
Wrong.
is gonna give you shit if you don't answer right.
Okay.
Samoas or Samoas?
Caramel Delights.
Tag-alongs.
What?
So again, when you said we're bad at rapid fire, these fuckers are. They might as well have said truff. They're like, like,
But he had the right
trefoils
answer.
or some
I did.
shit happened.
He had the right answer
Yeah.
because it's like a protein bar because
Yeah.
it's got
It's-
peanuts in it.
Exactly. It's good for
Hugo,
you. It's
Hugo.
got
Yeah.
you could
What is a Samoa?
I
There's
would
the square
rather
one
be
with caramel
in the
coconut
There's
desert
the
chocolate.
circle one with the coconut one.
if
Yeah,
I'm
that's a caramel
stranded
delight.
in the
I'm old
desert
school.
Oh.
with a tag-along.
I'm a man.
I don't
I'm
know.
40.
Dude, it won't.
So
Okay, next.
Yeah, caramel delights.
Rapid
in
fire.
my
Let's
world.
go.
Go, Dave.
Favorite tacos? Street.
Just get the asphalt right in there. I mean, wait.
what kind of tacos on the street?
All kind of just curve. But extra curve on my
Curveball.
With the caramel delights.
Choco taco.
You might be the least hood person here right now.
Well, there's still Tom.
Hold on. I'll show you my. No, I don't have
Wow. He's just got
Thug life. My thug
all the
life.
back hair.
So what you're saying is you like street tacos.
3 tacos above
Steven?
his nipple.
Tacos.
What kind of tacos?
Yes.
Al pastor.
Jack in the Box.
No, lengua.
Oh
You know,
wait, whoa,
Lengua
we're
street
backing
tacos.
up to
Yep.
lengua.
I had to back it up.
I am not
know-
tasting anything.
No.
that's tasted
Something
something
about
good.
Jack in the Box, though. I saw an article last year where,
Nice marinated.
I don't know, like 50 plus million hot tacos of those are made a year. I think it's even more. It's
Fried is good, man. Fried is good.
crazy, dude.
I love
It's
Taco
crazy.
Bus.
I
Like,
mean,
just Taco Bus tacos.
nice.
That's why I want to fuck with you guys. Say, what's your favorite taco?
Street.
So
What's your favorite cigar? It's a boys.
it's a fucking padron, dude.
Yep.
Come on,
It's a
anniversarios all day.
Boom.
It's a girl.
What was the last book you read?
Go dog go.
The library woman back there is like, what?
Go dog go.
Go dog go.
My bad.
What was the last book that you read that someone read to you?
Go dog go.
Steven?
On Tyranny, and I'm in the middle of Ready Player One. And
are you prepping for the movie? Is that what you're doing?
I'm not prepping for the movie. No, I don't generally prep for movies if I didn't grow up with the thing.
So do you wear Dave Matthews Band T-shirts when you're on your way to the Dave Matthews Band concert while listening to Dave Matthews Band in your Dave Matthews Band branded car?
I actually don't like the Dave Matthews Band, but I love Dave Matthews with the guitar guy. Who's the guitar guy? Tim Reynolds. Thank you. That shit is on fire all the time. But Dave Matthews Band, take him or leave him.
When the movie is made about your life, who plays
I
you?
love you too, bud.
Who
You're
plays
the
you?
one wearing the thing. Okay.
In the movie about my life, Ryan Reynolds plays me.
Here's a new one. I'm
That's
gonna
a
throw you
good
guys.
answer.
Chivas or
Or Will
Tigres
Ferrell.
from Liga
Hey,
MX?
yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Who's you in the movie about your
Tigres.
life?
What?
Who plays you in a movie about your life?
Tigres.
That's what we did.
Oscar says
The entire
Tigres.
team.
Yeah. I was trying to get.
All right, so
my
Ryan
Chivas
Reynolds
rep, but some-
Ryan Reynolds or Will Ferrell?
Do I have
and
to choose between the two?
no, you have to
okay.
pick a person.
Who plays
Good God,
you?
man. Could
Oh,
Ryan
God.
Reynolds play me? No.
Whose name do you call out when you and your old lady getting after it?
Wow!
Who plays you in your sex fantasy?
Just cut out.
Shocking! Who plays you in your movie?
I'd like to introduce you to Tim Hamilton.
Thank you.
He's the reason we don't go live on the Flounders B team.
Is this why?
No, wow, that just escalated quickly. Like, I'm blushing, and I'm not even you, man.
You actually got to use
Wow.
this escalated quickly in real life.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, seriously.
My wife's name is Sarah, and she's a very lovely lady. So what was the original question? Who
Who
would play
plays
me in a
you?
movie?
Yeah.
Clooney. It's not Clooney. It's more like Zach Galifianakis, but he's got to put 40 pounds back on.
I don't know. I already answered that question, but what was it?
It's a
Tigres.
trash Liga MX question.
Don't
the best
say
question
anything.
ever.
I'd have to say Tigres because
Say Pumas.
Oswaldo,
Whenever
your goalkeeper.
Boo!
Suck a dick. I
shade in
fucking
the
hate
back,
that guy.
shade in the back.
He's not even there anymore. It's been a year.
I'm
been
still
years.
scarred for when he tried to kick
got you.
Eddie Johnson.
Hey, whenever I'm in Reno or wherever and I'm betting on Liga MX and I don't know what's going on with the team and I see Tigres are playing, always bet the over.
When you
I mean, it's always
said
bet the over
whenever
anyway,
I'm betting
but-
on Liga MX,
Yeah.
like
In
there
Reno.
are
There's-
statements that declare your level of
Bullshit.
gambleritude.
What? It's
And
you put
that is
$10
definitely
on a
one of
three-way
I'm
over
shocked that both
parlay.
you guys-
Fuck
There's
off.
betting on baseball, which is a bad fucking idea.
Yeah, always.
And then there's betting on Liga MX.
I get Chivas. Chivas
I don't
is
bet on a
strong.
result.
Hey, not
I
gonna
bet
lie.
on the over. You bet on the over, and it's hard to bet on the over in
Magares.
MX because it's always like 4 goals, 5
Bet on
goals,
Magares.
and the line is like
Who
plus
Don't
4.
exist at the
I'm
end
like,
of the
"What?"
season. Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's where I'm at.
I asked it.
Sorry,
You're
man.
not on the mic.
What's your least favorite Liga MX?
Mark asked, what is their least favorite?
Why is it?
Shut up, we're not answering. That is disrespectful.
Querétaro.
What he said,
My-
is that Adam's keeping this job. is what he said.
My least favorite Liga MX team
That's what he
is
said.
Mexico. Just the whole
Just
country.
the whole league.
My least favorite is whoever's playing Cruz Azul.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good statement. That's a good statement.
Who's up, Dave? You up?
No, I asked the one that he interrupted.
Oh, that's right.
Which was
My
what?
bad.
I did
movie
the
about
okay.
our-
movie.
we moved on from that.
Which historical figure do you want to be in a bouncy house with?
Historical figure.
Lindsay Palis.
Not Abraham Lincoln. The elbows
What
will
is
get you.
What is Lindsay Palis known for?
Who is Lindsay
She's
Palis?
historical. You find her on the internet, and you will know
Lindsay
why.
Palis.
On incognito,
wait.
or I'll be in trouble.
It's safe for work.
Lindsay.
Definitely.
P-E-L-A-S.
You want to turn on the safe search. I'm just saying. Just
what?
turn on the safe search.
P-E-L-A-S.
L-A-S.
It's just an Instagram model.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah. Oh, now I
the reason
know.
I know.
bouncy house.
So yeah, Abe Lincoln
Historical-
would be a bad one.
That would be a bad one. Elbows,
He's
and
popping
Drop
jaws. Like-
historical figure
right.
in that.
I will
In
say,
100 years,
Instagram
people are going to be
account
like,
is historical.
"Yep." Steven?
Historical figure in a bouncy house. I am rolling with Harry Truman.
Truman?
Mark
Harry
Truman.
Truman?
Harry Truman.
Doris Day?
I just realized nobody said this, but Ben Franklin would love the fuck out. Like,
Oh my
he'd
God.
love to
He
do a
would be
bouncy
like,
house.
The wire
Where was
frames would
this
pop
shit
the.
when I was flying kites?
yeah.
All right.
Ugo.
All right, if you had the most impactful purchase you've made under $100 that's impacted your life.
That's a good question.
Used impact twice in that sentence.
Impactful.
Yep.
Do we use impactful just to piss Tom off?
Best,
Probably.
best under $100 purchase?
Under 100. Super impactful for your life.
My Match.com account
Can I get more?
for the month of April.
No. Yeah.
This joke is
2012.
wonderful.
Tim.
I don't even know what you're laughing at.
Tim's
It's like
haymakers.
everything.
I'm gonna.
What are you asking about?
say the most impactful purchase
Under
under
$100?
$100, like in the past few years.
Yeah, under. Yeah.
Okay.
your life.
We normally couch it with recent.
I had an
You can decide what that
amazing
means.
pork chop at Maxwell's
Where's Maxwell's?
down in Seattle.
Maxwell's in
Yeah,
Seattle?
yeah.
A pork.
Or
amazing.
not Maxwell's. What's the one of the basketball players all used to go to?
Aussies?
No.
Sean Kemp's place?
That's
Oscars?
Aussies.
No,
Oscars.
no. It's I know what you're talking about. It's
Where?
God dang it! It starts with a G, I think.
Denny's?
Wait, where?
Yeah, no. See, I
Belltown.
changed my
It's near
mind
what,
too.
dude?
Gaucho?
It is in Belltown, not Gaucho.
Oh, it's not Gaucho.
Anyway.
Amber?
Yeah, Maxwell's.
Trinity?
Yeah. Anyway, it's a great pork
Foundation?
chop. It was rare. It was lovely.
Maxwell's
There's such thing as a
restaurant.
transformational pork chop, and that was it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yep.
remember that when I'm.
I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, pork chops can do that.
All right.
Which questions do you want to ask next?
Well,
Yeah.
see, I don't have the list right now. So I'm just going to ask mine since I have
All
it
right.
memorized.
Go for it.
What was your favorite D&D character?
My favorite D&D character that I made up myself?
You made yourself, you watched play, whatever. I won't judge.
I always go with the wizards.
You're a wizard.
Yeah, I'm a wizard.
Garth Lagerwey was a wizard.
Yeah, okay.
Leroy Jenkins.
The barbarian.
Can you just break that out? Because just
The
figure that out
berserker.
and let us know when you figure it out.
Leroy
Last concert
By
that
the way,
you
the
attended in person.
straight flat, just Leroy Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
Hi, Katie.
Last concert in person. It's been a while. No. I took.
If you just went into "It's been a while," right
Yeah,
there, it
it's
would have
been a
been
while.
amazing.
It's
But you missed
been
the
a
joke there.
while.
So, thanks, Dave. He
since
just got
I
the joke
could
like 2 hours
say
later.
that I wasn't addicted. Anyway.
Guess who's doing karaoke
Hey.
tonight?
Yep.
1 to 3, not me. Got to go to work.
Next question.
Yeah, I don't think I can't remember a concert either.
All right,
I mean,
so-
Beastie
So I
Boys.
took
So
my
when
wa-
you do sing karaoke,
97.
as you will sing, what song do you sing?
Go-to karaoke song.
Go-to karaoke song is Interstate Love Song by Stone Temple
What are you,
Pilots.
me?
Yep.
Jesus.
Guess so.
We're going to have a song off.
Okay.
Tim, it's Don't Tread by Clint Dempsey, isn't it?
Oh, my God. Fuck what you're playing. Yo, it's Deuce.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Dude, the
Adam.
intro to that is so
beating
good.
Dave's
Bust
chips.
the
You can have some of my
Move,
potato
anything
salad
by
if you want.
Sinatra.
Wait, so you go from young MC to
Millions of
anything
Folsom
by
Prison
Sinatra.
Blues.
Holy fuck.
I need
So what
and
you're
just
saying
about
is
it.
you are the most diverse karaoke person
He's
sitting at this
fantastic,
table
actually.
right now.
He wanted
Probably.
to do.
On
You wanted
this
to do
side.
Copacabana
Probably.
on the
Okay.
bus last night.
Hey, no, by the way, kids at home, if you do
On
get the
this
chance,
bench right here.
sing
Yeah.
Copacabana because there's like a 4-minute break in
Oh,
the middle
Mac
of it.
the Knife
You
is
can
so
go
much
ahead.
fun. I love doing Mac
Dude,
the
Mac
Knife.
the Knife is actually an excellent
It's a
karaoke.
great karaoke song, and I've got the range for it.
There's-
It's
yeah.
like 4
Oh,
notes.
do you?
Yeah, it's like 4 notes.
It's been a while,
Dancing
but
with
mine
Myself by
is
Billy Idol.
Friends in Low Places in English and
There you
El
go.
Rey in Spanish.
Okay.
And we have
Isn't El Rey one of the Spanish language TV stations? Or no, radio stations.
It's a radio station.
You're on it often on Saturday morning.
I am. 1360 a.m. Saturday mornings,
They
10
also
to 12.
carry the Sounders games.
Oh, right there.
You
The
do
official
3
Spanish
hours of
language
karaoke
radio.
on 1360?
1360 Spanish sports
Puerta
radio
Negra.
coverage.
Nice.
I'm gonna call in and ask you to do the song El Rey on
Ugo,
El Rey.
I will do it if
the
you do
next
that.
time you're on El Rey.
It's your turn.
Yes.
I just
So,
want to say El Rey.
what is your favorite soccer
Palis.
memory as a player or a fan?
My favorite soccer memory
Wrong.
is meeting my wife. My favorite soccer memory is meeting my wife at Doyle's for the USA-Sweden friendly right before the start of the Sounders in MLS.
That's where you met her?
Yep, that's where I met her.
08-ish?
Huh?
08?
08-ish. Yeah, 09. 09. Yeah.
Early 9? Okay.
Yep, early 9, and then, and then like a year and a half, 2 years later, we were married.
That's
It's
awesome.
great. Yeah. She's the reason I'm here.
Top that,
Yeah,
Tim.
good luck with that.
Now what?
December 10th, 2016.
What's that?
Toronto.
Yeah. Jackets off.
Jackets off.
That was my favorite moment.
I was not there. I wish I were.
I wish I were a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl was good. I would call her. I wish I had a rabbit and a hat and a bat.
Oh,
And a
my
six-foot
God.
Mark
I wish
is
I had a
actually
girl like
still-
Leoki,
You guys,
but she don't know me. That's all I got.
Oh, my God. You guys just missed freestyle.
Did you already say you wish you had a Benz
Two.
or
I would
instead you have
call
an
her.
Impala?
6'4" Impala.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, my
Did you
God.
say 6'4"? Because you've lost all points.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl look good. I would call her.
wish
I
you
wish
had
I
a
had a
girl that
rabbit
didn't
and a
wear a
hat and a bat and a
collar.
6'4" Impala. It's 6'4" Impala, right?
Yeah,
6'4".
this is for tall.
Oh,
Yeah.
6'4". Sorry.
Good job, though.
Yes.
Are you
that's your
giving him
song.
shit
I own
for
that single, by the way.
R?
So,
On cassette. No, CD. 7-track CD.
what about Maxi single?
All the same song.
Max
So
Priest?
what?
Over and over and over again?
like
Different
remixes?
versions. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
jungle
remixes. You
version.
got to get the
What's-
remixes.
Thank you.
What's the bit of advice you would give 2006 you?
Match.com.
Honestly, yeah.
Tim's like, I would have been online, tapping all of it.
Go to the Sweden game.
Don't buy a house in 2006.
That was actually a poor
Absolutely.
time to buy a house.
Dude,
Good
don't
call.
remind me.
You'll be-
2006
or-
was early.
You're going to be in that same house.
Yeah.
I am.
That's what I would have told you.
Yeah.
I'm still on that mortgage with my ex.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Don't get married in 2006 and don't buy a house in 2006. Sorry, I brought
No,
this
it's
place
all
down.
good.
Advice?
No, it's all
Crash
good.
and burn.
I know. I bought my house then too.
Don't
so.
waste 14 years in state government.
Are you dropping
You
the mic?
almost dropped the mic there. We saw that coming.
Yep.
What do you got?
What shoes do you wear while playing soccer?
Copus.
Oh.
Fuck all the new shit.
The black Puma indoor ones.
When he plays FIFA?
When I play. Hey, I've actually played soccer before.
Just because he owns soccer shoes doesn't mean he plays.
Oh my God, dude.
I've got a pair of Adidas
It's been
I
a
haven't worn
long
in
time.
10 years.
Yeah.
He boots
Bite
up
his
in his
livers.
living room.
It's been a long. It's been a while.
You played. You were playing. We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, I played, and Shannon Matthews. I scored against a guy named Shannon Matthews.
I know Shannon. He's
Own
been on
goal.
the show. Yeah.
Own goal.
One hell of a kicker.
Yeah.
Or a keeper.
I'm gonna tell him that.
So yeah, Copas. I mean, it depends. Turf for
We covered on the
shitty
show
turf
last week.
or
Nice.
just the regular Copas.
The your favorite video game?
Damn, that's hard, dude. We
What
gotta add that to the
genre?
list. That's a
I
great
mean,
one.
It's got to be something from the 8-bit,
Contra.
probably.
Oh my God.
Up, down, down.
Yeah,
right,
Contra.
left, right.
I could actually
Start
play
for
that
extra
all
large.
day.
I'm gonna go Super NES NBA Jam.
Wait, would you say Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis?
Oh, you Scott Lyman.
If we're going,
Hey,
I hope Lickett gives that.
sucks it when you get in the eye, don't it?
I have nothing appropriate to say. So it's like the whole rest of the show.
if we're going old school, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on Super Nintendo, and he's here for this. And
Dude,
then if
Link
we're
to
going
the Past is
more
not old
modern,
school.
It's fairly. I mean, I was still in like junior high when that
Nice and
shit
Punch-Out
came
was
out.
fun.
So, And then more modern area, Half-Life 2, that whole franchise. Yeah.
What's your opinion on Half-Life 3?
Well, it doesn't look like it's coming.
Confirmed.
Can you confirm Half-Life 3?
I can neither confirm nor deny that Valve is probably going to just crash and burn.
What is your favorite pickup line?
Hey, girl.
Want to go to the Sweden game?
What have I used or what's actually worked?
Yes.
My favorite pickup line is after she asked me if I'm going to ask for her number, saying yes.
She asked you.
Yeah,
Good answer.
because I forgot. Like, hey, because it went so good. I was just like all smitten and like all bubbly. And yeah, it was great. That was like 6 months later.
Are you
going
gonna
to
ask
she
for
told
my
me to
number?
fuck off. But.
It's written on the wall.
Can I get your number?
Whoa, bruh.
His is on the wall.
Sure.
Have you been in the bathroom at the Berliner?
Sure.
Hi, my name is Tim, but you can call
I
me
love
tonight.
you, man. You can call me tonight.
Damn.
First time we had a
Ryan
guest
Reynolds.
asking for dates.
So,
Yeah, it's so great.
what would be your last meal and your last
yeah.
drink
Ooh.
if you were on death row?
Something to give me
And not
explosive
Death Row
diarrhea.
Records, actual Death Row, which is kind of the same.
Something
from
you have
what
to
I hear.
clean up a lot the next day.
Talk about
Chili dog.
Chili dog.
Chili dog.
Asparagus. Lots of asparagus.
Oh,
I like the Taco Bell asparagus and bean burrito,
you are,
please.
you are getting really real right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Crawfish boil.
Ooh, I like
Do
that.
it.
Actually,
what about your drink? What about your drink?
I change my answer.
Bourbon.
Oh, you're changing.
What-
We have an answer
bourbon
change.
old-fashioned. Yeah.
What brand?
Probably would roll with like Basil Hayden's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. I could
You
down.
get Basil Hayden at the
I'm
Berliner
changing my
Pub.
answer.
You sure
Downtown
can.
Renton.
There's not
Totino's
Basil
party,
Hayden's?
party pizzas. Party pizzas.
You're here.
Basil.
Totino's party
Basil.
pizzas. I changed my answer.
God, how many?
Like, well,
16.
$10 worth. So
A lot.
Oh god, those are so awesome. I don't even care if it tears me up. What do I care? You got to clean it up, right?
What's a word or phrase that you overuse?
Mats.com.
Yeah.
What is that for you,
Absolutely.
Does
Absolutely.
this look infected?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like
Is that
I
you or
can never
Tim?
stop saying it on the show. I
Tim?
can never stop saying
Oh,
it on
you-
the show. Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's terrible.
Does this smell like chloroform?
Bad habit.
What was yours?
Ah!
Whoa, what?
And we didn't ask that when I did it.
The best part is Adam's laughing so hard that he couldn't even just end the show right there.
Is that it?
Drop.
Do you guys want to share any Game of Thrones spoilers?
Good Lord.
I don't watch it.
He doesn't watch it. Is this a safe place for that sort of thing?
Hell no.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it kind of is. But
We'll have to see in 30 seconds what the audience says.
when literally we have 0 viewers all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Blue fire.
You could just
Please.
make some fake spoilers up.
Is that what we do?
I mean, we do now.
Okay, so fantastic. Well, what happens is Daenerys Targaryen actually stabs Jon Snow in the stomach 5 times. He gets resurrected over and over and over again. She's like, oh, I
kinda
guess so. I
happened.
guess, yeah. All right. I guess you are Azor
I
Ahai.
want to see the short fellow ride a dragon.
Short fella. Hold on. I'm going to tweet at him. I'm going to tweet at him right now.
Wait, you're going to tweet at Peter Dinklage?
Right now. So I'm just going to say that I've been doing this for like a year. Literally this minute right here is maybe the most we've
my
ever
God.
all just been like, what the fuck just happened?
Multiple times. having
All
to
of
say,
us.
What the fuck?
Or like,
Flounders B team, ladies and gentlemen.
the short
Follow them
fellow.
at. Follow them at.
The Bance is real.
Not the A team,
The
we're the B
Bance
team.
is real. Hey, when I'm paying attention, we're actually doing pretty good. So, hey, all right.
When does that start?
Yeah, that's a good question. Usually about hour
I
45.
need to tweet at Peter Dinklage. So do you guys have any more questions?
Oh my God.
Can you wear like a normal saddle?
He actually had a special one designed in the show for his
horse.
horse.
Dragon?
For the horse, and I imagine he would have to do the same thing for the dragon. But
The scale.
Daenerys rides. I mean, she
Side
rides.
saddle?
She rides. with no saddle. Bareback.
Oh.
I didn't want to say that because of the double entendre. God damn it. Tim.
Side saddle.
No.
She doesn't go side saddle.
Rapid fire questions.
Yeah,
Who
let's go.
in this room is least likely to have never seen an episode of Game of Thrones?
Look. Everybody.
Least likely never to have seen one. Well, I already know about him.
I've seen a handful, but
I don't feel like Tigre's a Game of Thrones dude. Am I wrong?
Is he paying attention?
No.
He's never.
Have you watched the show,
he watches
Mark?
it
He's
for
never
the,
paid
the
for
lusty
television
parts,
in his
for
life.
The lusty parts.
Tim, who do you, amongst this audience, think is least likely to have watched Game of Thrones?
I'm guessing your homie.
Tigre?
Is his name? No.
Oh, Oscar.
Mark?
Oscar.
Oscar.
Oscar watch Game of Thrones?
Oh!
No. He said the last
season.
He's a binger.
Have you watched any seasons?
That's why I didn't
I
drop
bet
the
he's a
mic.
binger.
So not
I just
Oscar.
figured you'd be too busy
Nope.
working out and stuff.
All right. I'm gonna hold
Being
up
handsome.
a number
Yeah.
that will
Working out,
represent
being handsome.
the amount of Game of Thrones Dave Clark has ever watched.
Okay. Niente.
No.
Not one.
D&D
I'm
and never
definitely
watched Game
sending
of
this
Thrones.
tweet to Peter
It's all about the
Dinklage.
wizards.
I said
never would've-
I've been
All
asked
right.
on the live
Luis,
internet
you haven't
if
watched
you were
Game of
planning on
Thrones
riding
either?
Is
any
your
dragons
character a
anytime
bard? Are you
soon.
a bard?
And then I CC'd you.
I was like, what?
I have.
I'll probably be
bards,
banned
Okay.
tomorrow
All right.
from Twitter.
rogues,
Rogues, I could see you as a rogue.
knife fighters.
Oh, there you
Oh
go.
my God.
I don't have the
Did you
new
really tweet
D&D,
him?
so I don't know about all that. Yeah, okay.
It's all green
Okay.
screen anyway.
First edition fighter.
Okay. And just with knives, with daggers.
Walk out the door.
You're not going to do as much damage.
You are definitely singing
Yeah.
after this.
It's going to have a lot of
You
fun.
wanna hear it.
Swipe, swipe, swipe.
So
You're going to be rolling like
let's come back to
87
the top for a
D4s.
second, maybe.
Is this still on?
So if
That
you
was
were
on
to
air, so that's
be,
great. Yeah.
if you were to be actual adults for the next 2 minutes, I don't know what that's like, but we'll talk about it for a second. So if you were to give advice to kids
on the mic,
should they follow their love and play soccer, or follow their love and go to school?
Is their love playing soccer, or is their love going to med school, and so they're going to do like
If you were
pre-med
the
and
next
pretend
Jordan
to-
Morris,
okay.
would you say stay in school, or would you say step up?
Are they any good?
Jordan Morris good.
I mean, they're the next Jordan
they're
Morris.
good.
Like
if you're
actual
Jordan Morris
next
good,
Jordan
go
Morris.
for it. I mean, take your shot. You can always go to school later because you'll have money to do
Yeah,
it.
you can go
A
to
little
school
bit.
in a wheelchair, missing a leg.
you want some homegrown player trivia?
You can't always play soccer. You can always play at college.
The
You
camp in
can
Florida?
always play soccer. You can always go to
What's
college.
his name? The keeper.
Southern New Hampshire University.
Southern New Hampshire
There we go.
University. Timmy Howard.
Yeah.
So,
I played.
okay,
Let's-
Mark's gonna ask
I
me a
played
question
college
in a
and
bit, but I'm gonna
online
wrap up
university.
this homegrown thing first. So we got two pretty freaking smart dudes, right? Jordan Morris and
Yep.
Aaron Kovar went to Stanford. Shea
Mike
Adekoya was studying molecular psychology at UCLA.
What does that even mean?
It's for the chicks.
It's literally about how like the chemistry of the brain affects psychology.
That sounds exhausting. What? And really small.
Smart
I
people.
could find that interview somewhere, but yeah, he's like,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
like a lot of people, like a lot of kids with an African father, he was pushing all of us to go to school,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I was going to be a doctor. I might still do that.
Oh, my.
I mean, that's kind of the cool thing. You could still be a doctor.
That's dope.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's crazy. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
What time does that start?
9:30.
So
My dad
so
always
we've
said, "Chase your dreams." It turned out just to be the popsicle truck.
And
not
then it
Match.com.
stopped, and you hit it. Mark, question me.
Also
Yeah?
appropriate
You
for the
actually gonna be
Match.com
karaoke?
conversation.
Mark's question for me is,
I was curious what your thoughts were on that self-proclaimed soccer city to the south. How many homegrown players they have called up to national teams?
this is a long question about homegrown players called up to national teams from Portland, considering they're a trash city that doesn't have their own academy.
Boom.
And like their
There you
first
go.
3 academy players didn't actually play within their first 3 homegrown players didn't play in their own system.
Called up to national teams right now?
Yedlin's on this roster. No, he's not because he's still hurt, right? So just one homegrown.
Jordan doesn't count.
Yeah.
What about
Jordan is a homegrown player.
Oh.
You say yes, Dragons?
Not a homegrown player.
He didn't respond.
No,
He
he's
responded
from
to you.
Central California.
Yeah. He's
grew up in
DMing
the
you right now.
desert where
But
it's
the
like
other one would be
110
two then.
degrees right now.
Is Nuhu homegrown?
No, he's
Okay.
from Cameroon.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about the French. Yep.
But he's good.
A lot of people like to think that
fucking
Christian
good.
is homegrown because he went to the UW.
Yeah, I do that.
The
too.
only school,
That's
like,
the
quality
distraction.
Pac-12 school that actually believes in men's soccer.
Go
Go
Dogs.
Cougs.
Quags.
Next question.
Quad tightness.
So it's about 9:40.
If you had to be a Cougar, how quickly would you leave?
I'd be on the first train out of Pullman.
Oh, so you're not talking about it.
What? There's no longer
You
train
can't
service.
leave that.
Joke's
I'm on
you.
the first horse
Joke's
out of
on
Pullman. I know they got a veterinary college.
Oh wait, you're talking about Pullman.
So we could probably do this for like another hour.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I'm happy to. Adam is like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. So if you're in the house here tonight, or if you're on the internet, do you have any questions for our special guest from the Flounders B team?
How do we find you?
FloundersBteam.com, iTunes, Stitcher.
Trying to get on the Google Play, but yeah,
Channel
we're a member of the
253?
member of Channel 253 Network, a group of podcasts up in there. They have a lot of different topics, a lot of stuff about just Tacoma in general, about being a citizen in Tacoma, citizen, small C, not a denizen of Tacoma, I suppose you could say. And
What's a podcast?
my podcast is floundersbteam.com. It is the Flounders B Team podcast. There are other podcasts
Instagram,
called Interchangeable
Twitter.
White Lady. There are Interchangeable White Lady.
Nerd
we
Farmer.
have the Nerd Farmer podcast with Nate Bowling.
The Nate Bowling. Nate
Citizen
from Tacoma.
Who? And then moved to Tacoma, and
man.
that's about it. But you can find us
Right back.
on Twitter at FloundersBTeam. That's at FloundersBTeam. You can find me.
Quartz.
I'm at Podfish. Tim Hamilton, the master of the memes over here. He is.
Oh, is that what you add?
What?
I was trying to figure out where your part was.
Usually just armpit noises and dick jokes.
Yep. So yeah, he puts Tim puts a bunch of shit on Facebook, on Instagram, and yeah, just find us, look for us.
Courts.
We record on Mondays, put out a show on Wednesdays. We probably won't have one out early this week just because of the break and
This
couldn't
is our
get people
show.
'Cause
together.
you're
This
here?
is basically our
is
show.
our show.
Yeah.
So do you have anything that you'd like to request of our viewers, listeners, etc.?
The only thing that I can say is please subscribe to the show using Stitcher or iTunes. If you like the show, if you listen to the show, tell your friends about it. We'd love to get some reviews on iTunes, 5-star, 4-star, 2-star, whatever. Just tell people what you think of us, right? And tell us what you want. We try to put something out on the Twitter every week, saying, hey, questions, anything you want to talk about. We have much better analysts than me on the show that actually have coached and played and stuff like that. So they get pretty deep and technical, and I like to ask the silly questions, and they give me really good answers. So that's why I'm into it. Just
Nice.
enjoy it, and we have a lot of fun. Tim, what do you think, man?
That's it, man. No, it's great.
All right.
I do it for the chicks.
Match.com.
Match.com. Okay,
What?
Cupid. Is okay Cupid
Just like
still a thing?
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it all
Is
for
it
the
any good
Nookie.
anymore? I don't know.
I think plenty of
Tim
Fish is
did it
better,
all
so-
for the
Okay.
nookie.
For the
ladies
Nookie.
and
For the
gentlemen.
Nookie.
And you could take that cookie
The what?
Oh, my God.
Stick it up here.
right up in there.
Fred Durst, man. What
That's
was
how
he
we end on that
thinking?
note.
I'm pretty sure the show just ended itself.
This thing was
Yeah.
off the rails
So,
4 hours ago.
thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you
No,
for
man,
having
Thank
us,
you, everybody
man.
in the
That was
house
fun, dude.
and
Yeah,
watching us
right on,
online
Hugo.
for joining us.
Yeah, man.
This is
Good
Sonar
shit.
Feed episode 215. If you don't end with too many cooks, you are fired.
You can't fire him.
Nope, you can't fire him.
You are never fired. Play something else
That's
to
right,
end the
that's
show. Play Diego Valeri diving over and over and over.
Boom.
We are out.
Out like his
Thanks,
dive.
Tom. Thanks, Adam.